Hello, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving from here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, where today the 83rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game will take place between the Quincy Presidents and the North Quincy Red Raiders. My name is Jonathan Clear of Quincy Access TV. We want to thank you for joining for our coverage here on the pregame show of this annual tradition. We're being joined by Noel DeBoner, who will be joining us down the field once the game starts. But Noel, a little preview here of the teams. Quincy High School, North Quincy High School, kind of down years for both teams this year, but they're looking to kind of end the season on a high note here today.
Yeah, don't count out Quincy. They've had a very tough schedule. Remember, they're 3-7 here today, and North Quincy's 1-9. But the moral thing of the story is Quincy has played some really tough teams. They've played Milton, Marshfield, and Duxbury, three top teams in the Division II and Division IIIs that have went on to state finals. So, that 3-7 team, this team is a little bit better. They're winning down the stretch, too. They got a 2-game winning streak.
Talk about that little streak, and obviously nice to have a couple wins at the end of the season here, and I'd love to end on a 3-game winning streak. Those two teams that they beat, Natick and Wellesley, two playoff teams that lost in the first round, but they're good wins for Quincy High School.
Well, Quincy's off on a good note with two straight wins right back-to-back here. Wellesley and Natick, two teams in the top finals in the Division II rivalry. Now, those two teams played against them. They're big, they're tough, they've been good programs, and Quincy's come out to beat them. It's going to look good today. I look for a guy, number 51, Mike Monroe, right off the bat. North Quincy's going to have to be able to block this kid. This kid's a throwback from the 1960s. Big, physical, and loud.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the players to watch here for the Presidents. Talk about a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. Talk about their quarterback, Cody Desmond, and what to look forward for him today.
Yeah, Cody Desmond has about around 900 total yards, rushing and passing, a little over 400 in each category. He's rushed for 4 touchdowns, and he's passed for 3. He's very versatile. They also obviously have number 7, Jave Hanson-Fields. He's a 3-year starter for Quincy. He has 8 touchdowns and 11.67 on rushing this year in the 10 games that he's played in. Watch out for Garrett Cronin, number 35 as well. He's also the fullback, and he goes in for Jave Hanson-Field at tailback. And also look for Dyreek Johnson and the wide receiver position at number 81. He is actually a very tall receiver, and I don't know if North's going to be able to do that on the defensive side of the ball.
Talk about also Cody Desmond as the rusher. You mentioned a little bit about that. He's been very successful this year running that quarterback sneak and the quarterback draw. Just very successful overall running the ball. Kind of complement Hanson-Fields and Cronin in the backfield.
Well, what happens is if you run the ball, you're going to open up the pass. And if you pass the ball, you're going to open up the run. Now, Cody Desmond is a mysterious kid where he will just run at a certain position of the field. And he's kind of a little bit like James Lamb. Under James Lamb over the last few years, that 3-year starter that's won the last couple years here, Cody's definitely been able to watch him and utilize that. He's a great quarterback.
Certainly is. The other quarterback on the other side of the field for North Quincy, Joe Fallon. Talk about him and his senior leadership, and what to look forward for him today as well for the Red Raiders.
Joey Fallon's a kid who's going to need some confidence. Come out maybe, throw some passes. I know Mark Nutley's a very conservative coach. He likes to run the ball very well with number 24, Aiden Brown. But if he can move him off into the slot or in the flats and do a little bit more passing, give Fallon some confidence early in the football game, it'll be the difference for North Quincy. They're going to need to pass the ball. You got Worley, number 18, and you got a sophomore, Chris Donahue, number 14. Look for those 2 receivers. They're a little bit smaller, but they're very, very good.
Talk a little bit more about Aiden Brown, one of the best running backs here in the South Shore, and certainly going to go head-to-head with Hanson-Fields on the other side of the ball.
Aiden Brown, number 24, is a 3-year starter. He was at the wide receiver position. They've moved him to running back. He's got 11.23 in rushing. Phenomenal kid, got great vision, good moves. He's got 8 touchdowns this season as well. I see, between the two, Jave Hanson-Fields and Aiden Brown, they're about 44 yards apart from the season for over that 1,000-yard mark. Let's see who gets the most yardage today.
Finally, let's talk a little bit North Quincy on defense. Jake Grady's one of the main men to look out for the Red Raiders here today on defense.
Yes, he's just a great kid in the middle there. You also look out for the junior, Tom Koch.
Sure.
Undersized, very good linebacker, as well as Connor Pound in the middle with Derek Hien. So they have some good physical kids. The situation is they're coming off a lot of injuries. North Quincy last week, they didn't play a lot of kids. Everybody's suited up today. We'll see how fresh their legs are until obviously the second half and see how the DBs are doing against the Quincy receivers.
I know. Well, thanks a lot. We're going to go to some interviews in just one moment. We'll be back with you in just one moment for some more pre-games coverage. So again, we want to thank you for watching this edition of QATV's pre-game coverage. I think we're going to bring in the Quincy High School principal right now, Lawrence Taglieri. We'll get him to come in just one second here. For all of you watching at home, again, happy Thanksgiving. This is the 83rd annual edition of the Thanksgiving rivalry between the Quincy Presidents and the North Quincy Raiders. And we're going to bring in the the Quincy High School principal, Larry Taglieri.
Hi, John.
Coach, how are you? Happy Thanksgiving.
Very well. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
It's been quite a season here for the high school football in the city of Quincy, and your presidents are riding a 2-game winning streak. Would like to make it 3 here today.
Absolutely, they do. They've had a great season. A couple tough games early. I'm very impressed with how they've stayed together, the work of the coaching staff. Yeah, and we have a beautiful day today. So
it certainly is. Talk about the elements at the school every year. It seems like Thanksgiving week is always a big weekend for everything, but with this game coming up, it's certainly a big game, and a lot of the excitement, I'm sure, at the high school.
Yeah, we just finished Spirit Week, culminating with the rally yesterday. Ton of blue and white throughout the school, a lot of spirit in the school, really a great culture and climate. Really.
Sure. Talk about Coach Bill Reardon, one of the longtime coach here now, and I know the kids love having him as a coach, and I'm sure you love having him in the building as well.
Well, I think what we were saying earlier about some tough losses earlier in the year, and just how the ability that this team just stayed together the whole way through his leadership, the senior leadership on the team. And, Coach Reardon is a product of Quincy Public Schools, Quincy High School, former captain. Went on to Stonehill. It's just a great story, and he bleeds blue for sure. Yeah.
Now, as someone who took part in the Quincy-North Quincy rivalry on a couple different sports, What does it mean to the kids today?
Yeah, this is a big game. It's a game for memories for a lifetime, absolutely. They have relationships with all these kids growing up within the city, and they're going to have to put their best effort forth with this North Quincy team, that's for sure.
All right, we want to thank you for coming on, taking some time. Did you have a chance to talk to the team, and what did you do? I should just mention that as well.
You know what? I see them at the rally. This is their day. They've been working all year. They've been working since the summer. I let them do what they do. So I appreciate the opportunity to come out here with you, John, and our time as player coach years and years ago.
Yeah, that's Coach Tag was a baseball coach, and for a lot of different plays, but especially for me, a lot of different games out there all around. But so I know exactly firsthand as well. It means a lot to be for these kids. Like you said, you have friends on the other side of the field, and it's a good rivalry, and you want to win on Thanksgiving Day.
Absolutely.
So. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for taking some time out here.
Thanks, John.
All right, we're going to be joined now by Principal Robert Shaw from North Quincy High School, and we're going to have him come on. Rob, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Good morning.
We were talking with Larry Taglieri from Quincy High School, and we were talking about Pride Week and Spirit Week here at Quincy High School. I'm sure it's just as big at North Quincy High School, and talk about some of the events that happened this week.
Sure. Well, we took the step of moving our homecoming dance to the day of Little Turkey Day, so Saturday night, and had our biggest turnout in years at that dance. So I think that was the right move to make. It was a good Saturday with 2 wins here Saturday morning and early Saturday afternoon, followed up by that dance, and then we moved into 2 days and nights of decorating in preparation for that Thanksgiving Day rally that went off quite well yesterday.
I'm sure it's one of the busiest weeks of the year. I mean, it's only a 3-day week, school week, but it's packed with all kinds of events. As you mentioned, dances, decorating, so a lot of work for you and all the students as well.
It sure is, but they put in the time, the students working with their class advisors, this team working out back here behind us, their coach Nutley and his assistants, a lot of work before this week, but particularly this week, pulling this together and making it work.
Talk about Coach Nutley and his staff and what they've meant to the team and all the hard work they put in to get this team ready for all the games, but especially here today.
They do. They put in a lot of work, starting as early as the summertime, end of the summer, and as the school year is starting, working through their season and keeping spirit up and numbers up, which they are this year in an impressive way. And Coach Nutley and his crew have a lot to do with that. He's got a great JV staff. Our freshman coaches, Coach Carter, Coach Chisholm, a lot of time developing what this year is our largest freshman team in quite some time. So I think it's an impressive amount of time and work they put in, and I think it's paid off a bit this year. And
we've seen, like you said, numbers are starting to improve. A couple of years ago, the freshman team didn't have a lot of kids, but numbers are improving. It's good to see that more kids are coming out to play for the team.
They are, and the game on Saturday morning, I think, was a testament to how well they've done, those kids and that coaching staff, in bringing it back.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you for taking some time here on Thanksgiving, and a happy Thanksgiving, and
Thanks.
Good luck here today on the field.
Thank you.
All right, I think we're going to be joined now by Mayor Tom Koch, who's getting ready to come out here and give us some greetings here for the city of Quincy. Mayor, happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's a busy week here in the city of Quincy with all the different events, but it really kicks off unofficially here today, it seems like. There's other events beforehand, but this is really where the big one, where the whole city comes out to support their teams.
That's true. It's a great tradition. I know my son who graduated last year is back. He's got his football coat on. He's here today, meeting up with his friends. So it's a great tradition. been going on for 80-some odd years. I started coming when I was about 5 years old with my dad a long time ago now, and now to see my own kids play, and it's pretty cool, pretty special. It's a great family event. It's not only about the game. The game's important. It's about the reunions and the reacquaintances of people and getting together, and of course finishing with the big meal today, right?
Certainly. Talk about that. As you said, your son graduated last year and played, but you have a son going this year as well. It must be a different element when you go to the game, but now you have a couple of sons playing.
That's correct. I mean, as mayor, I don't wear the coupe, so I got to be fair to both sides. I wish them both well, but yes, I have a son this year. He's a junior. He's playing, loves the game. Mark Nutley and his staff do a great job. Billy Reardon and his staff do a great job on the Quincy side, and it's a great opportunity for these kids. And obviously for the seniors, it's probably the last time they'll ever put a helmet on and play football. So it's a special day for all.
Talk about all the events that do happen here this weekend. It's probably one of the busiest weeks in this entire city with all the different things happening with Thanksgiving and then all the Christmas festival events.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you think about this weekend, it's one of my favorites because it's such a family-friendly weekend. And of course, we start with the game, and then, of course, Friday night, tomorrow night, we turn on the lights over at the Thomas Crane Library lawn. Some added features this year, some of the new figures that are up there, which is cool. Saturday, although the weather looks questionable, but we usually have the big guy in a red suit jump out of the plane up at Pageant Field, which is unique to Quincy.
Yep.
And then, of course, Sunday, the big parade going down Hancock Street, almost the entire length of Hancock Street from Hannon Parkway all the way to North Quincy High School. Great events for the city of Quincy.
Very unique here in the city of Quincy with all these family events that go on this short amount of time, but it really brings everybody out to see their friends, family, and neighbors, and just kind of get ready for the holiday season.
Absolutely. I mean, we're a large city. It's 8th largest in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but a weekend like this really brings us together as a community, and that's really what it's all about in the end.
All right, we want to thank you for taking this time, and if you want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. I have much to be thankful for, certainly to serve as the mayor of this great city. And blessed with great family, great friends. So I wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the day with your families. Thank you.
Mayor, thanks, Rob. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right, I think we're going to be joined now by the superintendent of schools here in the city of Quincy, Richard DeCristofaro, who's going to be coming on. We want to thank all of our guests for coming on the pregame show and taking some time. We know it's a busy morning for everyone. And Superintendent, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
TV. You guys do a great job every year.
Oh, we appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. We appreciate it. We like bringing the coverage, everyone. We all the staff and crew, we like being out here as well. Almost all of us are alumni of one of the schools or others, so it's a big game for us as well.
Excellent.
Talk about, again, big game for the city of Quincy, and especially for the public schools and all the student athletes.
Yeah, it really is. It's so much more than a football game in so many ways. You look at the stands, and it's just really about bringing neighborhoods together again and seeing so many families that have been with us for so long that come back. And so we're thrilled about this day. I mean, obviously it's a beautiful day, but our athletic directors, our principals, our players, our cheerleaders, a great band that's unbelievable.
Yep.
Nice, great halftime show. So we're, as always, incredibly proud of Quincy Public Schools, but this great city as well.
Let's talk a little bit more about the band. This has been it's a huge improvement over the past few years, and out in the field there's going to be a halftime show, a marching show, so it's great to see them really being part of the show here today.
Yeah, really, and it's really about relationships. I mean, the gentlemen that we have that are directing the band, they have great relationships with their kids. They've promoted this. Our bands at the elementary and middle and high school have grown unbelievably. So we're seeing this really resurgence of band in the city of Quincy over the past, probably about the past 4 or 5 years, and we're really proud of them. They worked so hard. They had a band camp this summer. They were up at Pageant with probably about 100 degrees in the summer practicing. So just great kids, wonderful instructors who have a great passion. So we're happy.
Also, talk about the coaches for both teams, Bill Reardon and Mark Nutley. Obviously coaches, but kind of mentors for the team as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Both play incredible roles in the classroom, in their offices as well. So I think everything comes from that. It's not everything they know about football. It's really about who they are. And they're gentlemen with tremendous heart, tremendous passion for the game, but even more passion for our kids. And it's not about just one game. It's not about just one season. It's about them creating a situation for our kids that's a lifetime experience.
And you must enjoy seeing the development of the kids, obviously on the field, but in the classroom as well, with the help of the coaches.
Yeah, and also the school culture, the climate and the culture at both schools is absolutely extraordinary, and athletics plays such a great role in that. So you see it, you talk to the kids, and the kids have a tremendous amount of pride in their schools, but also pride in themselves and their team.
We want to thank you for some time here on Thanksgiving,
right.
And I'm sure you're hoping for a great game.
Absolutely. A tie would be wonderful, too. Believe me. Thank you very much.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks very much.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks.
We want to thank Superintendent Richard DeCristofaro, and I think we're going to be bringing in now the QATV official statistician, Martin Dunham. Martin, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, John. Putting a lot of pressure on me already.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of pressure. Jim Timmons is up in the booth. He's expecting high things for you here today. So we'll start off real quick with North Quincy High School. A little bit of a down year, but they're looking to jump up here with a big win.
Absolutely, yeah. North Quincy's been a very young team this year. They've been depleted with injuries, especially on the defensive side of the football. Unfortunately, they just haven't been able to put offense and defense together within the same game. But today, they're all healthy. They look good. I stopped by their practice yesterday. They're all fired up. The coaches are fired up. So it should be an exciting game today, I think, for North.
Talk about some of the stats for North Quincy, some of their leaders.
Yeah, Joe Fallon, senior quarterback for North Quincy. He's passed for 738 yards, 5 touchdowns. He's got over 50 completions on the year. Leading the way rushing for North Quincy is Aiden Brown. He's got 1,128 yards, 7 touchdowns. His best game this year was against Pembroke. He rushed for 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. Liam O'Connor has added 187 yards and a touchdown as well. He's had a very nice season. Leading the way receiving for the Red Raiders, Tom Hooley, senior wide receiver, 18 catches, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jake Grady has added 11 catches for 164 yards and 1 touchdown. And defensively, he's been leading the way as well with 83 tackles. Tom Koch has 49 tackles along with Alan Daly. Koch and Daly, both juniors, have had very good seasons for the Red Raiders, and they'll be looking out for them next year.
Talk a little bit about the North Quincy offense. Obviously, Aiden Brown is one of the elite running backs here in the state, and we've seen it here in the field in the games that we've covered this year.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. Noel mentioned, he moved over from wide receiver to running back this year, and the transition's been almost seamless, if you will. Like Hanson Fields we've seen for the past couple of years, he's just a hard player to take down, often takes 3-4 guys, and he moves the pile, and that's very special to see out of someone who's played running back for just, a few months.
And then again on defense, we mentioned Jake Grady, 83 tackles, I believe you said, certainly leading the way on defense for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, absolutely. Grady's been a 3-year starter for North defensively. He's battled injuries the past couple of years, and this year he's had a couple of nicks to deal with, but he's the middle linebacker of the defense. He's the captain of the defense. They're expecting big things out of him.
Moving over to the Presidents now, you mentioned Jave Hanson Fields, one of the other elite running backs here in the South Shore. We've seen him for the past 3 years do amazing things in the field. Same thing here this year.
Absolutely. Just like Aiden Brown, you're looking at Hanson Fields, and both teams are going to try and get those guys as many touches as possible, because the more touches they get, the better opportunity that they have to win. They're going to run a lot of powers, a lot of ISOs. They're going to feature Hanson Fields in a power running game as much as they can.
Talk about some of the leading passers and rushers for Quincy High School and their leading stats.
Yeah, Cody Desmond, senior quarterback for the Quincy High Presidents, has passed for 443 yards and 3 touchdowns. On the ground, he's also added 433 yards as well. Jave Hanson Fields has rushed for over 1,100 yards on 199 carries. He's got 8 touchdowns on the ground. And then defensively for the Presidents, Hanson Fields has a team-high 4 interceptions along with 47 tackles. And then right there we see Mike Monroe, a senior defensive tackle. He could be the best lineman on the field today. He's been a monster. You could just see by that line, 40 tackles, 11 sacks. He's also got 9 other tackles for loss, 4 forced fumbles, 4 pass deflections, a couple fumble recoveries. He's been pretty much unblockable this year.
Talk about 11 sacks. That's a lot for NFL, never mind high school.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's been, like I said, John, he's just a force. You can't. I believe the Quincy Sun referenced Bill Reardon when talking about the Wellesley game, and that Wellesley hadn't really seen him, and they just couldn't block him that game. So he's absolutely going to be immense for the North Quincy offense. They're going to have to block him. I should have mentioned on the other side, too, Quincy's going to have to account for Derek Kuhn on the defensive line, nose tackle. He's missed a couple games due to injury. He looks good. I think he's going to be playing a lot of defense today. We won't see him coming off, but he's a force as well. If Quincy doesn't block him, they're going to have trouble on the ground.
Noel mentioned earlier Quincy High School has played a lot of tough teams in the state, Duxbury, Marshfield. North Quincy's played a couple tough teams as well. Middleborough, one of the best teams in the state, played them tough in the first half, and we've seen that a lot this year. North Quincy plays the teams very tough in the first half, but seem to get tired because of the lack of numbers in the second half.
Yeah, North Quincy's played a tremendous schedule, too. I think just as difficult as Quincy's when you look at their league slate. You mentioned Middleborough, top-class team. They lost to Holliston. Hanover, they lost to Holliston as well in the playoffs in consecutive rounds, and Hanover put a good game against North. You look at Scituate, Plymouth South, those are very good teams as well. And Bedford, don't underestimate them as well. We saw them in week 1. They put together a very thorough performance, and they made the playoffs, got a win as well.
All right, Mark, I want to thank you for taking some time out here, and we know you got to head up to the booth and get ready for some stats. And
Well, you got to get ready on the iPad too, John. So don't oversell my job.
your job's a little bit more important. You got to get Timmons ready up there to get him ready to go for all the stats he's going to be looking for the game. But we'll let you go and thanks, Martin. We'll take some time out.
We'll catch you upstairs.
All right, we'll bring Noel DeBona back in real quick for some final thoughts. So, Noel, we've talked about everyone here today. We obviously know it's a big game. We've heard about the Quincy High School Presidents, the North Quincy Red Raiders. What are your final thoughts before we get ready for some season highlights?
Well, it's a beautiful day here today for a football game. It's around 48 degrees. It should be getting up to around 52 at game time. I will say that Quincy is going to score around 4 touchdowns here today. So for North to be in this game, Joey Fallon has to do a really good job and get his composure early in the game and get some touchdowns. Before halftime, at least score 1 touchdown. I predict a 28-point, 35-point game for Quincy High School. Will North be able to match that and then win the extra point battle? They have a very good kicker, and you could come down to that. It's going to really come down to can North Quincy can score.
Sure. Well, like you said, it's a fantastic day for football. It's going to be about 60 degrees here at the stadium. There's still plenty of time if you're listening at home right now to come on down and be part of the crowd. If not, we want to thank you for joining us for our coverage of QATV's 83rd annual football game here in the city of Quincy. Well, we've done a lot of coverage of high school football here this season, and there's been a lot of highlights as well. So right now, we're going to take a look at some of the season highlights, including the 10 best plays at the end of this highlight reel. So we'll take a look at those, and then we'll come back with kickoff in just one moment. Back Cody Desmond, and he's going to roll out himself, has 2 men for pass, and a touchdown. Presidents number 35 on the touchdown, Garrett Cronin.
The win, as you mentioned, John, early on, swirling.
All right, Fallon, as we talk about Fallon, looking down to the field for a man, and it is complete. Touchdown, North Quincy coming up with number 41, Jake Brady. Cody Desmond looking to pass over to the left side, and it is touchdown. It looks like, did he have his feet in bounds? Yes, he did, and he controlled it, going to the ground. Derek Johnson on the touchdown catch. Aiden Brown over to the right side, across the 35, has some space going on the side now, across the 50-yard line to the 45-40. 35, and will push out of bounds. Down, looking. Fires over the middle, ball tipped again, it's picked off. Garrett Cronin on the interception for the Presidents, and he's going to bring it back to the 24-yard line. Huge play there by Garrett Cronin. Aiden Brown gets him. He has some space on the right sideline, across the 30-yard line, going some more at the 40 now, up to the 50, 45, 40. 1 man to be at the 30, 20, and he'll get pushed out of bounds. We'll see where they mark him out of bounds.
What an effort! Terrific stuff by Brown. Watch how things set up in a running play.
Aiden Brown trying to make something out of nothing, and he does get some space across the 50-yard line, still on his feet, and he'll get across the 45 all the way up to the 42-yard line.
Texting some calls at the line.
Desmond looking to pass, looking, and there's nothing going downfield. He has some space over the left side now. Hanson Fields with a blocker at the 40-yard line. Desmond 35-30, and he's going to step out of bounds. Pitch to the right side to Aiden Brown. And wow, nice move there to fake 1 man out. Still on his feet is Aiden Brown at the 15-yard line, trying to pile his way forward. And finally will get brought down at the 19. But Aiden Brown, a ridiculous run there.
And try to run it down to as close to 30 as they can before the reset.
Hanson Fields with it over to the right side at the 10-yard line. Has the first down, trying to get into the end zone, and he does. Touchdown, Jave Hanson Fields. Right this time, and it is complete, and touchdown. Finds Tom Hooley. He gets it in.
By Hooley to go get that ball.
Hanson Fields again with a carry, right up the middle, over to the left side now. Cuts free, across the 50-yard line, and some more at the 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, and he'll get pushed out of bounds. Their seniors and the juniors from the previous teams have all graduated. Now they're gone. Great drop play here for the Presidents. Hanson Fields on the carry, has some open space. Crossing the 10, 15 to the 10, and finally gets brought down at the 9-yard line. And off to number 22, Liam O'Connor over the right
got
side.
some room,
O'Connor
Jim.
trying to go the distance himself to 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Liam O'Connor. 51-yard touchdown run. Punt is going to be fielded by Garrett Cronin at the 44-yard line. Has some open space into the territory.
Oh, he's
Cut back
got
the other
some-
side of the field now, Martin. Cross up to the 30-yard line. Nice pursuit by Plymouth North. Up to the 20 now for Garrett Cronin. Up to the 15. And then he's finally going to be brought down at about the 13-yard line. Show back to pass, looking to the left side, looking for May. And it is intercepted by North Quincy.
Oh, what a play for Tom Hooley.
The play there, Martin. The referee had to come up and re-swat the ball because it's been blown away. So you'll see a lot of that.
He's got some room.
Space. Across the 40-yard line.
He's
1 minute
gone.
in. He's going to go all the way. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Aiden Brown.
Starting back there.
Looking to pass, Fallon, waiting,
got
plenty of
Hooley.
time, goes way downfield, and Hooley, he set the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, North Quincy. What a job there by North Quincy. And this is going to keep it himself. Has the space over the right side, has the first down, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Presidents. Huge play there by Cody Desmond.
President's going to pack it in, full house backfield. And quick handoff
30
goes
seconds.
to Garrett Cronin.
Yeah, so it should be
on
good.
the outside by Hanson
Hopefully.
Fields. Cronin with some room. Down the sideline, he's still going, Jim. And he's going to break a couple more tackles. And he's going to go in for the touchdown, Jim.
Called a game of 2 on that last play for Brown. Brown again on the carry. And this is makes one tackle on this, breaks out of the pile. He's down the right sideline. Off to the races. The 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Aiden Brown. What a play.
This kid is a special talent, John.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to QATV's coverage of the 83rd annual Thanksgiving Day football game between the Quincy Presidents and the North Quincy Red Raiders. My name is Jonathan Caleri, and I'm being joined now up in the booth by Jim Timmons. And Jim, we've said it many times already here today. It's a fantastic day for football, but it's just a fantastic day here for the city of Quincy as well.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking at completely blue skies out there. Great temperature for game day. You see the Quincy Presidents coming onto the field. Red Raiders are already across on the visitors' side. And all the way across on the 50-yard line, you see the combined high school bands. We'll be moving to the national anthem shortly. But, John, it doesn't get much better than this. There's a great shot from a 50-yard camera. Peter Doherty capturing the whole scene, and it's going to be a spectacular day.
It certainly will. Quincy High School, Jim, we mentioned also a couple times that coming into this game with a 2-game winning streak, winning their last 2 games against Natick and Wellesley. Looking to make it a 3rd victory here today. North Quincy, unfortunately, have had a tough year this year. They've played a lot of tough teams. They've played tough in the first half, but lack of numbers and depth have hurt them in the second half.
Yeah, but as was discussed in the pregame, that's a situation that is turning around down at the north end of our city. The freshman and JV programs prevailed last week in the Little Turkey games. The numbers are back up. So things look very hopeful for the North Quincy program. The big thing today, John, that was mentioned briefly is the fact that Quincy's riding a 3-game winning streak right now. So it's very interesting that they got a shot to sweep, a 4-year sweep of the Red Raiders, and North is looking to prevent that. We've got the captains getting set up on the field here, and we're going to have the coin toss momentarily, John.
Yeah, it's a busy week here in the city of Quincy, Jim. Again, we've mentioned as well that it really gets started off with the Thanksgiving Day football game here today, and then all the other different activities that will be taking place this weekend as well. As you mentioned, we're waiting for the captains to come out onto the field for the coin toss. And it looks like they're starting to make their way out. North Quincy is led by their captains, number 24, Aiden Brown, number 72, Derek Hahn, and number 77, Connor Pound. For Quincy High School, they're led by number 51, Mike Monroe, and number 75, Isaiah Uzamir. And right now we'll go down to the field for the coin toss.
Say hello. All
All right, guys, we've got a fantastic day for football. Congratulations on being the captains. This is your last high school game. Work hard, guys, okay? Play football. Okay, Captain Brown, you're the visiting team.
Yes, sir.
We're going to call the toss. Guys, what I have here is a 9/11 commemorative coin. The eagle is heads. World Trade Center is tails. I use this coin all the time in honor of a friend of mine, Kevin Connors from Wollaston. Went down in the World Trade Center. What do you call it?
Tails.
Tails he calls. Tails he calls. And there's a tail.
Defer.
You're going to defer. You want the ball.
Yep.
Which goal do you want to defend? You want to defend that way, kick this way?
Yes, sir.
Put your backs over there, North Quincy. Quincy over here. North Quincy has won the toss. Elected to defer to the second half. Quincy will be receiving. Shake hands, guys. Let's have a great game.
All right, well, you heard it there. Quincy will be receiving the ball to start the first half. We're going to take one more final timeout. We'll be back with kickoff in just one moment. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Veterans Memorial Stadium, where today the Quincy Presidents will play host to the North Quincy Red Raiders in the 83rd edition of high school football between these two teams. My name is Jonathan Caleri. I'm being joined by Jim Timmons, and we'll be joined by Noel DeBona down the field during the game as well. Right now, we're getting ready for our combined high school band from Quincy and North Quincy to come out onto the field to perform the national anthem, as well as the color guard from North Quincy High School's ROTC as well. And we'll now pause for our national anthem.
For the posting of the colors by North Quincy High School ROTC unit under the direction of Staff Sergeant John DiLorenzo, and the playing of the national anthem by the combined North Quincy band under the direction of Richard Kennelly, Joe Salvucci, and Michael DeMarco.
Well, Jim, a great job there by the combined Quincy North Quincy Marching Band, and we've seen a lot of them this year, and they've done a great job this year. And Superintendent Richard Cristofaro talked about how much of an improvement they've made in size the past couple of years, and they've done a great job.
Oh, yes, and very delighted on a personal level for Richard Keneally, the band director. Had some very serious medical issues over the past couple of years that he's had a struggle with. The folks, the young kids in the band did a good job of sticking together. There were directors who stepped in in Mr. Keneally's absence. And as the superintendent alluded to, across the city, the school bands and the various elementary schools and the middle schools have been it's been a very thriving extracurricular activity. And you're starting to see the result of that at the high school level, where they're out here as a larger group, a very cohesive group, and we're looking forward to the halftime show that they have planned for us. But as I began the comments on Richard Keneally, very happy for him, happy for the program. It's yet another program in the Quincy Public Schools that's going in the right direction.
All right, teams are getting ready to come out onto the field. North Quincy won the toss, and they elected to defer their option to the second half. So they will be defending the north end zone. The Presidents defending the south end zone. If you're listening at home, Quincy High School will be going from right to left once they receive this kickoff.
Yeah, the young man kicking off for North is one of the best athletes on the field here. Number 15, Dara Griffin. Dara is only a sophomore, but he's like an old man out there.
All right, and they're going to attempt an onside kick, but it did not go the 10 yards that was needed. They were trying to pull a fast one on the Presidents there, and it looked like they might have had it, but the kick just did not go 10 yards.
Yeah, the kick went about 6. And if you look at the flag, at some point we'll ask Peter Doherty to give us a shot of the flag. There is a very strong headwind that Griffin was kicking into. There's a strong south to north wind here at the stadium. And if you look down at the field right now, you see the shadows that run directly behind the North Quincy boys. The North defense looking into the sun. The Quincy Presidents have the sun at their backs and won't interfere, but when the receivers look back for passes, John, it's going to be difficult for the young men. So look for the running game early on from the Quincy Presidents.
Presidents led by number 12, senior quarterback Cody Desmond. He's going to hand off to senior running back Jave Hanson Fields. Big hit there by number 18 for North Quincy High School, Jake Peterson, coming up to make the tackle on Hanson Fields.
Yeah, the senior talked about a little earlier in the pregame. If you watch this replay and watch this collision of two fine young athletes, Hanson Fields follows some solid blocking. Peterson steps up in the hole, makes the tackle, puts a solid stick on, and we are underway in the 2015 version of Turkey Day.
I formation behind Desmond. Hanson Fields with the carry with the right side. Has some space over the right side. Across the 30-yard line. Still on his feet. Up to the 20. Cuts back to the middle of the field. He's at the 10. 5. Touchdown. Jave Hanson Fields. Hanson Fields started over to the right side. Found some space back to the middle of the field. And was able to go all the way for the touchdown, Jim. What a run by Hanson Fields.
Oh, absolutely. Watch this replay, folks, and watch him just... He begins by following his blockers, a huge hole. Great block out there by number 73, Bernie Van Tassel. Now he's going to cut it back, and here's where Hanson Fields presses the talent button. He's on the accelerator and in for the touchdown. So Presidents draw first blood. The extra point is good. And the Quincy Presidents take an early 7-0 lead, John. We're not even 1 minute into this ball game.
A 44-yard touchdown run there by Hanson Fields. And it was all set up there by the gamble on the onside kick by North Quincy. It didn't work, and the Presidents were able to capitalize just 2 plays later, again with a 44-yard touchdown run by Jave Hanson Fields.
Yeah, senior Garrett Cronin kicked the point after. He's another young man who was a terrific athlete. I talked about the Quincy kicker, Jared Griffin. Well, Cronin, the same sort of athlete. He's going to be out on the field, both sides of the ball, and he's a place kicker. Hanson Fields is now the career leader in rushing yards and touchdowns at Quincy High, John, with that 44-yard touchdown run. What a career for the young man. And that's quite a statement in light of the long history of great running backs at Quincy High School.
All right, kickoff is a short one, and a fair catch is called for by number 48, Tom Koch. Probably a smart play there by Tom Koch, and the ball is going to be spotted at the 37.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'd love to see a replay on this if we have it, because what you're going to see is a very smart play by Tom Koch. He called for the fair catch. Watch the replay, folks. It's a terrific onside kick. Now look at Koch there in the middle of your screen. He signals fair catch. The upline men are taught that in a situation like that, by calling for the fair catch, they give themselves a little extra protection. All Koch had to do was cleanly catch the ball, and he did. So terrific job by Tom Koch. Red Raiders start with great field position themselves.
All right, Joe Fallon takes the snap for North Quincy. He's being pressured, rolling out to his right, and smart play there. He's just going to throw it away to avoid the sack.
Yeah, it looks like North Quincy's game plan was going to follow, at least in part, the wisdom of Noel DeBona in the pregame. Mark Nutley trying to get Fallon rolling out of the pocket, get the confidence in the air game, which North Quincy's going to have to successfully execute here. So it'll be interesting.
All right, so we second down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. They're on their left hash mark, heading left to right if you're listening at home. Fallon takes the snap, and Aiden Brown's going to get the carry. He's going to get up to about the 39-yard line.
Aiden Brown is a young man that you're going to really enjoy watching today, folks. A terrifically talented athlete. I liked him, the Quincy son, John. He was characterized by Bill Griffin as a brilliant runner, and that is absolutely true. He's got great moves. He's got terrific lateral ability to move laterally, and Aiden is going to be a key to North's success today. He sees the ball a lot during the course of a game. We've got a 30-second timeout by North Quincy. But Brown sees the ball a lot during the game, in part because of the lack of depth, but Aiden Brown playing for North Quincy any year would have been the primary ball carrier. Here he is, a phenomenally talented athlete and terrific young man who's shown great leadership on both sides of the ball for the Red Raiders.
All right, North Quincy, as you mentioned, Jim, did call a timeout there first of the game. 3rd and 8 now for the Red Raiders at their own 39-yard line. Fallon now in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his right. Aiden Brown, the low man in the backfield. Fallon rolling out to his right, looking to pass, and it's going to be incomplete. Flag thrown on the play, looking for number 16, Tom Hooley, and it looks like we're going to have a pass interference.
Oh yeah, both the back judge and the side judge agree. Hooley did a nice job of selling this one, but there was no question he was grabbed. Here's the call.
We have defensive pass interference. Spot foul, automatic first down.
So the Red Raiders pick up a first down. They're moving the sticks here. North Quincy just short of the 50-yard line. Has to be encouraged by this, John. They wanted to start with a sustained drive, and they are doing so here.
All right, ball spotted at the 45-yard line.
North Quincy from their own 45-yard line.
So it's a 1st and 10. And ball goes out of bounds. Pass was intended down the left sideline for Hooley.
Pass intended for number 16, Tom Hooley.
That one sailed a little bit. We'll talk more about the individual names a little later, but for now I'll just say that the Red Raider offensive line providing some very solid protection for Fallon, and that's going to be critical in this ball game. The Quincy defensive line had great success pressuring this year. They are an aggressive group, strong, well-conditioned group, and the Red Raider offensive line is going to have their work cut out for them. They're meeting the task early on.
2nd down and 10. Play action and fake handoff goes to the number 22, Liam O'Connor, over to the left side. And he's going to get a gain of 5 on the play.
Nice job mixing things up a little bit. Running back able to get outside. and up the sideline. Gain of about 4. That's a solid gain, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and 6, John.
All right, so I said 3rd and 6 ball at the North Quincy 49-yard line. Fallon back to pass, looking, almost gets sacked. He's able to roll out of it. Still in trouble, and he's finally going to get sacked and brought down by Mike Monroe. A big loss there all the way back to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, nice job. Good decision by Monroe. One of the issues for North Quincy here is Quincy was able to get that pressure on Fallon with only 3 down linemen initially rushing. The 3 linemen collapsed the pocket. Fallon had nowhere to go because Quincy dropped its linebackers, at least initially. And they had 8 guys back in coverage there. So Red Raiders are going to have to figure this one out, because if Quincy can sustain a pass rush with only 3 guys, it's going to be a problem. It's like they're counting the Quincy hats on the field.
Yeah, a flag was thrown by the official.
We have substitution infraction. 12 men on the field. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Quincy still has to get a player off the field here. They've got 12 guys out there.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
All right, so it's 4th and 10, yeah, and I think Quincy just called a timeout to get the 12th man off the field, and they did.
Yeah, that's the eagerness of Thanksgiving Day football, John. They all want to be out there, and on that particular special teams unit, no one wanted to come out of the game. So we're going to have Derek Griffin back to punt. Field's position going to be important here. And back deep for Quincy, Sean Hawthorne.
All right, North Quincy just does get it away.
Pressure.
Punt goes all the way over to the left side, and it's going to take a North Quincy bounce and go out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
Griffin was heavily pressured there, got the ball away. 28-yard line for Quincy. Not a bad shift in the field position here. See if the North defense can't step up and keep Quincy down the south end of the field. Conversely, the Presidents are going to look to sustain a little longer drive here. John, we're 7:44 left in the first quarter. A slow mover so far with the passing and the choppiness. So look for a sustained ground game by the Presidents here.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Presidents. Hanson Fields with a carry over to the left side, and he's going to bowl his way forward up to the 32-yard line.
By number 7, Hanson Fields.
Yeah, Fields went out over his left tackle. Tom Koch in on the tackle there. What North Quincy does, they've got Koch and Grady about 4 yards back off the ball. They try to give them all the mobility they can. They're solid tacklers, and Koch that time came from his left linebacker spot over to make the tackle on Hanson Fields.
2nd and 6 now for the Presidents. Hanson Fields again on the carry, and he's going to go nowhere. A late flag is thrown on the play as well. Fields is going to get tackled for a loss of 1.
Yeah, that time Aiden Brown, you see him, number 24. He was the first guy in. Let's see what the call is.
Now, they're going to say no gain on the play. They spot the ball back at the 32. But like I said, there's a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to be against North Quincy.
North Quincy side.
We have a personal foul. Face mask on the defense. Automatic 1st down.
I don't know if we have the replay there, but there were a couple of guys trying to get in on Hanson Fields. And that may have been the issue, trying to reach in and get the elusive number 7 down. So big penalty. Presidents on the move here.
All right, Hanson Fields again on the carry, this time over to the right side. Across the 50-yard line into North Quincy territory, and will get brought down at the 44.
I'll tell you, he was close to breaking it yet again. Peterson made a terrific tackle there while fighting off a block. But Handsome Fields just exploding here in this first quarter. He went over the right side, and had Peterson not been able to bring him down, John, that would have been a very similar run to his touchdown run a little earlier. Handsome Fields just looking really fresh and explosive out there, John.
Handsome Fields, 4 attempts for 60 yards and that 44-yard run as well, Jim. So, as you said, he has come out strong here and explosive for the Presidents so far.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through a slow-moving first quarter with those types of numbers.
2nd and 1 for the Presidents. Handsome Fields gets a carry again up the middle, and he's going to get the first down and get stopped at the 41-yard line on North Quincy side of the field.
Last guy up off the pile, big number 72, Derek Hunn. And helping him was Alan Daly, 2 names you talked about in the pregame, John. And they got a solid hit on Handsome Fields and held him to what was essentially a short gain, but a successful first down for the Presidents.
So 1st and 10 now for the Presidents at the North Quincy 41-yard line. Coming up on 5 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Time is running down on this play clock for the Presidents to get this off, and they just do get it off. Handsome Fields over to the left side on the carry, and he's going to get up to about the 37-yard line. Aiden Brown in on the tackle for North Quincy.
You see number 24 there in the middle of your screen. He is, Aiden Brown is on the right side. He's holding the right corner, and he's the contained man over there. And what we've seen so far from Quincy is they're running away from Aiden Brown. Everything's going to the Quincy right. Running away from Aiden Brown has done a successful job so far of being the contained guy on the outside here.
2nd down and 6 now for Quincy. Again, Handsome Fields up the middle. He gets tripped up in the backfield, able to fall forward up to the 34-yard line.
Nice job coming across to make the tackle there was number 65, John Griffin. Griffin coming over from his left guard spot across the line to make the tackle. Nice pursuit. Quincy in a 3rd down and 3 situation, John. They have moved the ball. Remember, they were back in the shaded side of the south end of the field there, in the shade at the 28. They've successfully moved into the North Quincy side of the field, and this is a big 3rd down play.
3rd and 3. Desmond rolling out the pass, fires over to the left, and it is incomplete. Was looking for number 87, the tight end, Mike McNelly.
Yeah, unfortunately, on the coverage there, Jake Peterson getting up slowly. If you watch the replay, you're going to see a nice effort over the sideline by both the receiver and the defensive back. And at the end of this play, I'm not quite sure what happened, but Peterson got a little dinged up there. We'll hope he's okay. Looks like, given where they are in the field, Quincy's going to go for it, John. Let's expect to see number 7, who's out there in the tailback spot.
4th and 3 for the Presidents at the North Quincy 34-yard line.
First big play in today's game.
Handsome Fields has it. He has a ton of space here, and he goes at the 20-yard line. 15, 10, 5, dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Presidents. Jave Handsome Fields on a 4th and 3 is able to punch it into the end zone.
Well, watch this replay, folks, and you're going to see why Coach Bill Reardon was confident going for it on 4th down. Absolutely terrific blocking. And once Handsome Fields has some green in front of him, you're not going to catch him. There's a great pursuit and an attempt there by number 18 for North Quincy, Jake Peterson. But Handsome Fields just too strong, just too explosive. And he bangs it in. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. Presidents looking to cap off here with a point after. And it looks like they will. So we're now looking at 14-0 President lead after a 7-play, 72-yard drive that took 4 minutes, 12 seconds off the clock. So first quarter for the Presidents could not be going any better, John.
All right, why don't we have a moment? Why don't we go down to Noel DeBona down the field for our first sideline report. Noel, take it away.
Thanks a lot, guys. You know, Jose Garcia, number 17, and number 10, Dominic Coleman, are hurt for the game. You got a couple sophomores in it. Number 36, Brian Newen, and number 24, Hawthorne, as well as the quarterback, Cody Desmond, is playing defense as well. You guys can talk a little bit about that when Quincy gets on the defense, unless they get the onside kick here. But weather conditions are great down here. It's a perfect day for a game. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Noel.
All right, so 14-0, Quincy on top of North Quincy with 3:32 left to go. And another fair catch call for by North Quincy at the 34-yard line.
I'll tell you what, that kick goes as high as it goes long. That's a terrific and effective kicking scheme by the Presidents here, John. What they're doing is North Quincy's not going to return any of these, but the Presidents have a shot at an onside scenario at recovering the kick. Thus far, North's covered them very well. That time, number 41 for the Raiders, Jake Grady. Again, fair catch call, did a very effective job. And here comes the North Quincy offense.
Aiden Brown has the ball, and he gets tripped up by Garrett Cronin at the 33-yard line. Maybe a gain of one. I was going to say no gain.
Yeah, Brown had just seen some green space and was ready to crash through the hole. Garrett Cronin came in and made a very solid tackle there. Well done by Cronin, number 35. He's had a terrific career here for the Quincy Presidents, Cronin. And he's in there at the linebacker spot. Always a solid contributor in the tackle numbers. That time he brought Brown down with a terrific, solid tackle.
Second down and 10. Brown on the carry. He has some space this time. Gets up to the 40-yard line. Fighting his way forward up to the 41. And a great run there by Aiden Brown.
Yeah, Brown over his left tackle, then cut it back up the middle. If you watch this replay, you're going to see that there's a lot of blue shirts, but that does not deter Brown. Nice blocking at the point of attack. You see number 77 for the Red Raiders kicking out Connor Pound, clearing some space. And here's Aiden Brown, number 72 for the Red Raiders. Derek Hudden getting in there, trying to move the pile. So solid effort. Red Raiders looking at a 3rd and short.
3rd and 2 at their own 41-yard line. North Quincy jumps and flags are thrown.
Yep, well done. That's going to be, assuming it's against, well, let's see which way it goes. Side judge coming over, and they're going to talk about it, whether someone moved on the North Quincy side or it's going against the President.
The previous. We have a dead ball foul, offsides on the defense. Gives North Quincy a first down.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 2, as you said, John. 5-yard penalty gives the Red Raiders a first down. Second time that a penalty has been a big factor in keeping a North drive alive, John. So Quincy hurting itself on that play. North Quincy benefiting. They're up at the 46-yard line, and they need to sustain this drive, John. It's going to be an important one.
All right, as I said, first down now for North Quincy at their own 46. Coming up on a minute 30 left to go in the first quarter. Joe Fallon under center for the Red Raiders. Hands off to Aiden Brown over to the left side. Trying to find some room, gets up to the 50-yard line, held up at the 49, and he's going to roll forward up to the 48. Nice run there by Aiden Brown.
I got to tell you what, folks, I'd love to see the replay on this one. Here we go. Watch how hard number 24 works. He's going to get outside here, but it's not like it's clear sailing. There, he evades a tackle. Now he's got 2 guys. He's wrapped up, but he keeps driving. He picks up an additional 4 yards, all on individual effort, with 3 guys all over him. That's the type of running back number 24, Aiden Brown, is. Absolutely tenacious. And for the first time today, John, North Quincy is in President territory.
All right, under a minute to go. Brown over to the right side this time, cuts it back up the middle, across the 45, and should have the first down. Nice run by Aiden Brown, and he's going to get up to the Quincy High School 42, and again, he picks up the first down.
Yeah, watch this replay, and keep in mind, this is all inside the tackles, point of attack running, slashing running by Brown. There you see him. He's getting hit right at the 45-yard line, but he drives another 3 yards this time to the 42. Great blocking by the Red Raider offensive line, John.
All right, coming up on the last play of the quarter, 10 seconds to go. 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders at the Quincy High School 42. Aiden Brown with the carry across the 40-yard line, and his forward progress will get him up to the 38-yard line, it looks like.
Carried by number 24, Aiden Brown. Tackle made by number 56, Ryan Ahola.
We're coming to the end of the quarter, and we'll talk briefly as we do. Well, watch this replay first, and then we're going to talk briefly about the names and the white shirts here on the offensive line who are doing such an effective job. There you see a very solid tackle by Quincy High's number, I believe that was number 56, Ryan Ahola. But in any event, we're going to get onto the field. I'm sorry, and then we'll talk. We're going to get onto the field to Noel DeBona.
Thanks a lot, guys. Talk a little bit about before the game here, actually. We had the 3rd annual alumni football game with Quincy and North Quincy, and they raised $5,000 for the programs, $2,500 each for Quincy and North Quincy. Sean Glennon and Scott Campbell. Quincy ended up winning that game 12-7. I actually played it, and it was a good game. Also, the banquet, the Hall of Fame banquet actually was Tuesday night, and Ed DeWitt for the North Quincy Red Raiders was a Quincy player. He actually was inducted this year. Back up to you guys. I was at the coaches coming right through.
Thank you, Noel. Yeah, this is always quite a week. You talked about some of the games. The alumni and the activity among the alumni has been terrific. It's helped really keep this storied rivalry to grow, notwithstanding it's the long tradition. So, as Noel mentioned, Scotty Campbell and Sean Glennon in their respective schools have really helped build up a new tradition that the alumni enjoyed this past week. This Brown getting hit right at the point of attack.
All right, Tyrion Leonard came up there to make the tackle for the Presidents along with Mike Monroe on the first play of the second quarter, and it's going to be a loss of 4 on the play.
Yeah, on the last play of the first quarter, I saw Jack Ryder, the right tackle for North Quincy, get up limping. He did something to his right leg, and it's really bothering him. And you saw it on that play. He had absolutely no leg drive there. Prior to that play, Ryder, the right tackle, and the right guard, Derek Hunt, have done a terrific job on the right side. Over on the left side, you have left tackle Seamus Broughton and Connor Pound, the left guard. They've been over on the left side for the Red Raiders, and the line is anchored by number 55, Ryan Manning. Those 5 guys have done a terrific job early on.
All right, Fallon in shotgun passing to his right and incomplete. Was looking for Hooley, and a late flag is thrown as well behind the play.
Now let's see what that one's about. But Fallon thought Hooley was going to break it out a little more to the sideline.
We have a personal foul. Roughing the passer. Automatic first down.
Another penalty and another first down, John.
So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty against the Presidents, and that will push the ball all the way up to the 26-yard line. And as you said, an automatic first down as well. Big penalty there against the Presidents.
Yeah, the Red Raiders huddled up back where the ball had been. They had to run about 18 yards to get to the new line of scrimmage here. So great field position. They're at the 25 and on the march.
High snap in the shotgun by Fallon's able to keep it. He's going to run it himself, and he's going to get up to about the 23-yard line before he is brought down there. Looks like number 36 for the Presidents, Brian Wynn, was in on the tackle.
Yeah, and Ryan Ahola, a junior, has just been a monster inside, John, early on here. Anytime there's a running back for the Red Raiders brought down, you see number 56 in on the action. And that time, he was the guy. It looked, although there was a high snap, it looked like a design running play for Fallon, who did a nice job. He picked up about 3, and not a bad first down play.
Ball at the Quincy High School 23-yard line. Second down and 7 now for the Raiders. Fallon again in the shotgun. Passing over to his right side, and let's see if Julio was able to get his hands underneath it. No, he could not. Julio was over at the 17-yard line, dove for the ball, but it short hopped into his arms.
Yeah, a little out, Pat, and that was about a 5-yard down and out. What they're doing here is Fallon's trying to get rid of the ball early due to the Quincy pressure. And although they didn't get to him, that Quincy pressure is the reason why that pass play did not work. So Quincy's defense stepping up here, John. We got a big third down play. Red Raiders calling a timeout. It's 3rd and 7, and this is going to be a big play for both teams. Red Raiders trying to establish some momentum and stay in this ball game, and Quincy would love nothing more than to come up with a stop. Time of possession in that first quarter was just about even. Quincy a little over 5 minutes. North Quincy a little short of 6. It was 5:56 for North, 5:04 for Quincy. The current drive for the Red Raiders, they've had the ball for 5 minutes and 21 seconds. So they're keeping possession, but they need to do something when they have the ball, John.
All right, Aiden Brown with a carry for the Red Raiders, and he's going to get to the 21 before he is stopped there by several presidents. Getting up off the bottom of the pile for Quincy was Sean Hawthorne, number 24.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have a replay here, but I'll tell you what, there was just nowhere to go. Watch the replay here, folks. And what you're going to see is big number 74 trying to block. And also Tom Koch out there is the lead blocker. But the penetration by the Quincy Presidents on that play was terrific.
All right, 4th and 6 now for North Quincy, again at the President's 22-yard line, coming up on 8 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the first half. Fallon in shotgun, he gets it. He's being pressured, rolling out, in trouble. McNally's pressuring him, and Fallon is going to throw it away. He had nothing downfield. Great coverage there by the Presidents, and they force a turnover on downs.
Yeah, Raiders came out with 4 receivers, but again, Quincy is able to get this pressure with essentially 3 guys. They're dropping back 5, 6, 7 men in coverage, and Fallon has nowhere to go with the ball. So North Quincy's got to figure that one out. They may have to use one of their backs, sliding out into the flat or getting out behind the linebackers, but North's got to solve the riddle of the Quincy defense, which stiffened up here and turns the ball over on downs to the Quincy President explosive offense. So here come the Presidents with 8:13 to go in this first half.
All right, Presidents start on their own 22-yard line. Hanson Fields with the carry right up the middle. He explodes. Great run there. He's going to get up to about the 29-yard line before he is brought down.
Yeah, very solid tackle there by Jake Peterson. And watch as Hanson Fields comes up through the hole on the left side. He's going to take the handoff. You see all that terrific point of attack blocking. And you see Koch and Peterson in there closing the hole, making the tackle.
Gain of 6 on the play for the Presidents. 2nd down and 4 at their own 28. Again, Hanson Fields on the carry up the middle. Nice work there by Hanson Fields. He explodes up the middle. And he gets up to 45 yard, and into North Quincy territory up to the 47-yard line. Great footwork there by Hanson Fields to pick up a big gain.
Oh, yeah, that hole was closing up quickly. That time, Koch exploded through the hole and blew up the play. But Hanson Fields with a little juke. Watch the replay here, folks. And watch Hanson Fields right at the point of attack. You see Koch penetrating there from the top of your screen and blow up the block. There's the juke that breaks, allows Hanson Fields to break free. And a very good job of pursuing him by number 19, Alan Daly. Daly did not give up on the play, which was key for the Red Raiders.
All right, 1st and 10 from the North Quincy 47. Hanson Fields gets the ball, and he'll be brought down at the Red Raiders' 45-yard line.
Grady in on that tackle, and I'll tell you what, Hanson Fields is just slicing through the Red Raiders. Watch the replay here, and watch this young man who's just having an outstanding ball game here.
Second down and 8 Quincy at the North Quincy 45-yard line.
President's looking a 2nd and 8 here. North Quincy territory on the North Quincy 45. And we're going to get a timeout for the Red Raiders. Coach Nutley bringing the defense over. He and Coach Ed DeWitt, who runs the defense. Looks like they're making a correction here on something. You see Nutley talking to his players. And over here on the near sideline, Mike Monroe out there, number 51. He's got the helmet off. Here's a shot of the crowd. It's quite a crowd here. The Quincy team home this year. You see all the blue over on this home side of the field. The place is just packed, John.
Jim, it's one of the better crowds we've had in the past few years. I'm sure partly because it's a great day weather-wise out, but teams are pretty equal here this year, coming out to support their teams, but just a great turnout here at Veterans Memorial Stadium to see all these people here cheering on both teams. All right, 6:13 left to go in the second quarter. Ball is at the North Quincy 45-yard line, and the Presidents will have a 2nd down and 8. Quincy on top 14-0 on 2 touchdown runs by Java Hanson Fields in the first quarter. Cody Desmond gets the ball, hands it off to Hanson Fields again, over to the left side, evades 3 tacklers, across the 40-yard line, and he'll get up to about the 38.
I have to tell you on that play, I happen to be watching Mike Monroe, number 51. He's the right guard offensively. And if you watch this replay, you're going to see number 51 just pull and come right across the line there and make a terrific block to open things up. So, well done by the President offense. And they continue to move the ball very effectively in what has been a pounding ground game. It's 3rd and 1 for the Quincy Presidents.
Alan Daly in on a tackle on the last play for the Red Raiders. There's a 3rd and 1. Hanson Fields with it. They're going to try a reverse. Actually making a pass. Garrett Cronin's looking downfield for Cody Desmond, and he catches it at the 18-yard line. Actually making it the 22-yard line. What a trick play there by the Presidents.
I'll tell you what, the ball was up in the air a long time, and it was thrown into the headwind, but it worked. Watch the replay here, folks. As John said, a little treachery, a little double reverse, and we talked earlier about the type of athlete that number 35, Garrett Cronin, is. There you see a pass into a stiff headwind to a lone receiver, open up on the right sideline. And Bill Reardon's going to get a quick 30-second timeout. He may be letting his quarterback, Cody Desmond, recover there. Cody made a very nice reception on that play, John.
Yeah, he went up for that ball, Jim, and as you said, brought it down. So a little bit of trickery there for the Presidents. 4:53 left to go here in the second quarter, and they now have the ball 1st and 10 on the Red Raiders' 22-yard line. Coach Reardon, Jim, is never afraid to pull some tricks out of his bag, whether it's on the kicking special teams or here on offense, and we've seen that throughout his entire career at Quincy High School.
Oh, absolutely. I've always referred to him as the gunslinger. He's got no hesitation anytime, anywhere, trying to pull something.
Desmond, quick pass to Dyreek Johnson, a great pass and a great catch up to the 11-yard line, making the 10-yard line for Johnson, and 1st down.
Yeah, and if you watch this replay, out there all alone, Tom Hooley on defense, and he makes a very solid tackle. If he does not make this stop, then it's another 6 for Quincy. So a well-designed play, a little hook pattern. Ball delivered right on the numbers by Cody Desmond, and a solid tackle by Hooley prevents a touchdown for Quincy. But here come the Presidents with a 1st and goal.
Right, 1st and goal. Hanson Fields on the carry, and he's going to get up to about the 6-yard line before he is brought down. Jake Peterson in on the tackle for the Red Raiders.
You know, if you look there at the right side of your screen, the white shirts, you see a lot of hands on hips. Well, those are the blue shirts there, but the North Quincy Red Raiders, they're really sucking wind out there. It's a tired group. Defense has been ground down. A lot of these boys are going both ways, and it is tough standing up against this really determined Quincy onslaught here.
I formation, 2nd and goal from the 6. Sanson Fields on the carry, gets up to the 5, and he's going to be brought down at about the 1-yard line. Was tackled from behind. Not sure, it looked like it might have been Connor Pound on the tackle to save the touchdown.
Yeah, it was Pound, and here we go. It's going to be a 3rd and goal from, as you said, ball's on about the 1-yard line. So we'll see what happens here. The President's offensive line, we talked about them all year. It's a well-conditioned group of athletes, and you've got to be inspired when you're blocking for a guy with the type of talent that Jave Handsome Fields has. So
3rd and goal from the 1. I formation for the Presidents. Desmond's going to try to keep it himself. No signal yet. And touchdown, Presidents. Looked like on the 2nd or 3rd effort, Desmond was able to get in. North Quincy stopped him initially, but as you see in the replay, Jim, Desmond kept fighting forward and was able to punch it in. So nice effort there by Desmond, as you can see, on that 2nd or 3rd effort to get it in for the 6 points.
Yeah, all he did. It's no surprise that you'd see number 74, Declan Mayo. He was the guy that Desmond tucked in behind. Well, that one got away from the Presidents.
I'm not sure if someone might have tipped that a little bit, Jim.
Yeah. And the point after went awry, but the Presidents, with their 3rd touchdown in the first half, we may go down to Noel DeBono and just see what he sees, or rather what he's hearing down there on the Quincy sideline as the Presidents score their 3rd touchdown. Take it away, Noel.
Quincy is not going to leave this intensity down. The sidelines is very loud. The coaches are still yelling. They want to just close this game out. It's 20-0 at halftime. Before halftime here, they're going to see, and the intensity is to stop North Quincy and not let them score here before the half. Very involved. All the coaches are down here ready to go. Back up to you guys. Thanks a lot.
Well, not surprised at all by that. A 9-play, 78-yard drive. Quincy retained possession for 5:31 of the quarter, so effective and well done.
All right, another very high kick, and a fair catch is called for. Ball's loose, and multiple flags are thrown.
Well, let's see what happened there. I know that a couple of the North players were calling for the fair catch and collided, but it may look like an over-eager Quincy player got in the mix too. That's the danger of this tactic. The high kick, if the Quincy player does not allow the North receiver to catch the ball unimpeded, then it's a penalty, and we'll see what they're we're going to have a conference here with the officials trying to get it right.
Ball spot at the 38-yard line.
We have a personal foul. Kick-catch interference. On blue, 15-yard penalty.
All right, well, here's where the solid coaching and the execution of the Red Raiders comes into play. By making the fair catch signal, what that does is it allows the North Quincy Red Raiders to have unimpeded access to the football as it's coming down. And that time, the Quincy High kids were converging on the kick, and it's not a typical onside kick scenario where anyone can play the ball. While the ball's in the air, once the fair catch signal's made, the North Quincy receiver has to be allowed to catch the ball. And there were a number of violent collisions that occurred out there, and Quincy was held accountable on that particular play for that one. So Red Raiders and Quincy territory here off the opening kick, or off the kickoff, I should say. And here they go, trying to convert something during this final 2:30.
All right, Joe Fallon in the shotgun passed it over to number 22 for the Red Raiders, Liam O'Connor. And O'Connor could not handle it. Looked like he had it in his hands and was turning upfield. and lost the grip on it, so it goes incomplete. Tough break there for North Quincy.
Yeah, O'Connor, a junior running back, and we talked about the sun. You see the shadows there? Those shadows are going directly south-north. And that time, number 22, O'Connor, was looking back into the sun. The sunlight is right in his eyes. I'm sure that was a factor in that play, John.
Joe Fallon 0 for 6 passing here today for North Quincy. Trying to step his screen, it looks like, and it goes incomplete. Was looking for Aiden Brown, but cannot connect. He overthrew him.
Yeah, Fallon's been high with all his passes today. I'm not sure if it's a follow-through issue, if the ball's sailing on him or what, but that time the ball went over the head of number 24, Aiden Brown, a guy you'd want to see get the ball in that circumstance. I say that about Fallon because he throws a great football. He's a very accurate passer. He's got a strong arm, but he's got to recalibrate. They have to figure out what's going on, and I'm sure that he'll start making a connection. You said he's 0 for the game so far. That's been a combination of pressure, and we'll look forward to him making the adjustment here as we finish this first half.
All right, 3rd and 10 now. Fallon again back to pass, fires a bullet over the middle, but again it goes incomplete. He had number 23, John Lee, and also Aiden, number 22, Liam O'Connor downfield, but could not connect with either of them. Looked like the ball was thrown before both of them made their cut.
Yeah, well, Fallon's having to get rid of it early due to the president pressure. He was throwing it to a spot right down the near hash mark there. That was a little seam route, and hoping to connect, but it didn't work out. So Red Raider punting unit coming on. Good decision here, Derek Griffin. Let's see if the Red Raiders can't create some tension with a turnover.
And Quincy almost blocked it, and they just do get it away. Derek Griffin, he got hit as he kicked it away, but no flag was thrown. And the ball is going to roll out of bounds at the Quincy High School 16-yard line.
Yeah, the referee was right there and saw the play. Griffin went down in a heap, but I believe at the least there was a hand on the ball. Here you see the president's sideline. They are buoyant and happy, but as Noel said, they remain very determined here. And they are looking to put away the Red Raiders. It's 20-0 with 2:17 to go here, John. Very important possession. North Quincy's got to come up with a stop. Conversely, the Presidents would love to put some icing on the cake by punching the ball in here and send a very dispirited Red Raider crew to their locker room. Let's see what happens.
Ball at the Quincy High School 16-yard line. Hanson Fields with the carry, and he's going to get a gain of 1 on the play. Aiden Brown came up to make the tackle from behind. Nice play there by Aiden Brown.
Yeah, the right side contained man who's played very, very well defensively. And this is one of the things you have to consider. Number 24 is the tailback for the Red Raiders, and he's been bottled up in this first half. He's got to be frustrated. Notwithstanding that fact, he has done an outstanding job defensively. Brown's been on the outside, and he's now got a game-high 5 tackles. That was his 5th as he came all the way across to wrap up Hanson Fields.
Coming up on a minute 30 left to go in the first half. 2nd down and 9 now for the Presidents. And it was a quick handoff to Tyrion Lennon, number 3, but North Quincy was ready for it. Maybe a gain of 1 or 2 on the play, and timeout is called down the field by North Quincy coach Mark Nutley.
Yeah, that's encouraging for the Red Raiders. They try to hit the up back and sneak him through the hole, but Tom Koch, number 48, came in and stuffed it. Watch the replay, and then you're going to see big number 65, John Griffin, as well, and on the tackle. Here you see Koch come in and stuff the hole. Then you see a number of other white shirts there in on the tackle. I mentioned Griffin. There's Griffin following up, and you see number 41, Jake Grady. Grady and Koch do a terrific job from their linebacking spots. So Red Raiders with a big stop here. They have held Quincy to 3 yards on their first 2 running plays, and if they can come up with a stop here, John, Quincy would be punting the ball away into a headwind, and North Quincy may have an opportunity here. So this is a big 3rd down play for the Red Raiders.
It'll be 3rd and 7. Ball is at the Quincy High School 19-yard line. 1:24 left to go in the half. That was North Quincy's 4th timeout, so they have 1 timeout remaining.
Quincy with 2 wideouts.
Hanson Fields on the carry over to the right side. Gets hit at the 20, and will get to about the 21 before he is brought down. And Coach Nutley calls his last timeout.
Yeah, first guy up off the bottom for the Red Raiders, number 22, Liam O'Connor. And saying we have a replay here. Let's watch it. There you see 22. He's the contained man on the left side, fighting off a block. He gets outside. Nice job from the rear. Good pursuit. And I believe that's Alan Daly, number 19. So good job by the Red Raiders. I also saw number 65, John Griffin, again. So Red Raiders come up with a stop. Presidents in punt formation. You got Brown and Hooley back for the Red Raiders.
1:17 left to go in the half. Cody Desmond will kick it away for the Presidents. And nice kick there by Desmond.
Kick.
Over to the left side. Aiden Brown takes it at his own 49-yard line. Gets across into Quincy territory and will get brought down at the 43.
Boy, I got to tell you something. What a gutsy play by Brown. That ball, that was a terrific punt. Great hang time. Brown knew that he was going to get popped, but watch this replay. That's our field cam view. You see a terrific punt. And Brown knows he's going to get hit, but he evades that tackler with a nice move. Very determined to try to make something happen there was number 24, Aiden Brown, and he did. He's got the Red Raiders with solid field position. They're at the President 42. Minute 7 to go with no timeouts. Let's see what Joe Fallon could do with the Red Raider offense.
Fallon looking to pass over to the right side. It's complete to Hooley, and he gets out of bounds. Nice job there by Tom Hooley up to the 34-yard line.
Well, there's the connection, and we talked about this during the last possession. Fallon is a solid quarterback who throws a great ball. That time he delivered it right on the numbers to Hooley along the sideline. The two boys executed beautifully. Hooley got out of bounds, stopped the clock. Red Raiders looking at 2nd and 2.
Again, Fallon in the shotgun. And he's looking to pass, finally throws it, and it is complete to number 23. That's John Lee, and they're going to have a first down up to the Quincy High School 29.
Great job by Fallon. Pressure coming from only 3 Presidents, so they have 8 guys back. Once Fallon got outside, a couple of the President linebackers came up trying to contain him or get at him, and once that happened, Fallon held the ball, found an open receiver along the sideline. Red Raiders with a big first down inside the President 30.
Fallon again looking to pass, looking, fires down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Was looking for Tom Hooley, again, number 16, down at the 5-yard line. Could not connect.
Yeah, Hooley looked like it was expected he'd be running a post route, and he didn't quite break it off at the time that Fallon expected him to. Ball was up in the air for a bit, but another factor here, we mentioned it, is the sun. The receivers and the defensive backs are looking into the sun. It's going to give a little bit of an edge to the Red Raiders right now because those Quincy Presidents are looking into the sun, whereas the Red Raider receivers are going to look back. They've got the sun at their backs right now, so let's see if Fallon can't connect with 48 seconds to go.
2nd down and 10. Again, fires over to the right sideline, and it goes out of bounds and incomplete. Looked like over there was Tom Hooley again.
Yeah, Hooley ran about a 12-yard route, and Fallon threw it at the stick. He threw it at, you see in the upper left there, the 10-yard marker there, first down marker. That was Fallon's target, and Hooley was a couple of yards past it. So they missed the connection, And it's going to bring up a big third down here, John. 3rd and 10 for the Red Raiders. They're inside the President 30, and we've got 43 seconds left on the clock.
North Quincy looking to put some points on the board before the half. They trail the Presidents 20-0. As you said, Jim, with 43 seconds left to go here in the first half. Fallon is shotgun. Quick pass over the Brown over to the left side. It's complete. Up to the 30-yard line, trying to fight his way forward. And ball comes loose. And Quincy has it, and they do. Aiden Brown fumbled it as he was getting brought down to the ground. And coming up with was Cody Desmond on the recovery.
Yeah, that's the downside of a guy like Aiden Brown who just will not give up on a play. If you watch this replay, Brown fields the high pass well. He comes down, and right away he's in trouble. You see 4 blue shirts. Now at this point, Brown simply won't give up. He's still driving, and that's how he gets stripped of the ball, John. You have 3 blue shirts around him. He had nowhere to go, so one of the guys just focused on stripping the ball, and he successfully did. And so the Presidents with the turnover. And nice job by the Red Raiders on Handsome Fields there. That was number 41, Jake Grady. And coming in to wrap things up, John Lee, number 23. Lee put a big hit on Handsome Fields. One of the other things we don't talk about because you focus so much on the movement and the artfulness of Handsome Fields, but he is a tough young man, John. He really is. He's been taking a lot of hard hits today, but he's been very resilient, very active out on the field. And the Presidents leading the teams off the field here as the clock runs out on what has been a very interesting first half. Presidents have to be delighted as they head to the locker room, and a dispirited Red Raider group has to go in and regroup, John.
All right, we're going to go down to the field now with Noel DeBona, who has Coach Bill Reardon from the Presidents. Noel, take it away.
Coach Reardon, we got a 20-point lead here at halftime. Jave Handsome Field in the first half, running the ball very well. Cody Desmond coming in for that second one. Talk a little bit about what's going on out there.
Well, Jave's being Jave. That's what he does. He's running hard, so you got to keep running hard. Cody's doing a great job of leading the offense. We got to continue. Now, they've made some adjustments defensively. They're moving some guys around, so we got to make sure that we're on the same page here in the locker room with those adjustments and see if we can't keep that success going.
Couple penalties, all kinds of stuff that's given them first downs, some on the kickoff as well.
Yeah.
Just got to polish up those things, basically?
Yeah, as I tell them every week, penalties, tackles, turnovers determine the game, so we got to get rid of these penalties.
Now, I do see some injuries, and on defense, you had a couple sophomores out there doing a pretty good job filling in. Newen and Hawthorne, obviously, all season.
Yeah, and those guys have played all season, so they've had a lot of experience at this point. So, yeah, we need them to make those plays.
Well, good luck into the second half.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Noel, and thanks, Coach Reardon. So, Jim, it's been an exciting first half for the Presidents, not so much for the North Quincy Red Raiders. They've had a couple plays, just haven't been able to capitalize on a couple of their opportunities.
Yeah, as Bill Reardon said, though, North Quincy's hanging in there. They're making adjustments that have been successful out on the field. They've had good field position in a couple of their possessions, so let's see if the Red Raiders can regroup and keep the game at least close here. They certainly don't want to see what happened in the first half where Quincy came out and explosively asserted control. You recall the Red Raiders won the toss. They're going to receive the opening kick. So we could still have an interesting game in our hands as we head to the locker room here in this first half, John.
All right, so again, at the half, the Quincy Presidents 20, the North Quincy Red Raiders 0. We'll be back with second half coverage in just one moment. Welcome back, everyone. We're at the half. The North Quincy Red Raiders are trailing the Presidents by a score of 20-0, and they're going to receive the second half kickoff to see if they can get that goose egg off the board. My name is Jonathan Caleri. I'm being joined by Jim Timmons. And Jim, we heard at the end of the first half, Coach Bill Reardon said that North Quincy has made some adjustments to hold the Presidents' offense in check a little bit. What can the Red Raiders do now in offense to get some things going?
Yeah, well, we did see that after 3 successive scores, the Red Raiders were able to shut the Presidents down a bit. But offensively, what's happening is they're able to get pressure on Fallon with just 3 guys. Quincy's able to defend with multiple defenders, and Fallon doesn't have any options. So what they're going to have to do is keep rolling Joe Fallon out and start working the flats with receivers. We'll look for Aiden Brown in particular. Quincy's going to kick to North, which is going from the north to the south.
All right, squib kick by Cody Desmond, fielded by Aiden Brown at his own 30-yard line, and he got brought up to tackle, at his own 40.
So they're going to start with good field position here. Time of possession in that first half, Quincy's last touchdown was a 5-minute 30 possession. So as a result of that, Quincy had the ball for 12 minutes and 20 seconds in the first half. North, 9 minutes, 40 seconds. That's relatively even, an edge to Quincy. But what we have to see here now with this North offense, John, is sustained drives. They need to get the ball into the red zone. They did not successfully do that in the first half. Let's see how they do in the second half.
All right, senior quarterback Joe Fallon for the Raiders in the shotgun, and he's going to keep it himself. Runs over to the left side, across the 45-yard line, and gets brought down there by Garrett Cronin at the 47.
Well, I like that call because what North Quincy's doing is, as the Presidents drop back in pass coverage, they're opening up some seams for Joe Fallon. What that's going to do now that Quincy has to react to a running Joe Fallon, a quarterback who's not afraid to leave the pocket and run the ball down the field, that might help keep a linebacker or two for Quincy down the field here and open things up for the Red Raiders offensively, Red Raiders receivers. They've got 2 receivers split out to the left and an I formation, John.
The ball at the 46-yard line. Aiden Brown with his first carry has some space over the left side, crosses the 50 into Quincy territory, and will get brought down at the Quincy High School 47-yard line, and a Red Raider first down.
Yeah, nice solid stuff at the point of attack. Good blocking. Brown had somewhere to go, and he went. You give him a little bit of a seam, a little bit of an opening. Watch this replay. It's designed to go to the left. Great blocking. Nice hole. You see a terrific block out on the outside there by Liam O'Connor. He contained the outside defensive back, allowing Brown to cut it back up and pick up the first down for the Red Raiders.
All right, Brown again on the carry. Stutter step in the backfield, goes up the middle, will get up to the 45-yard line before he is brought down.
Yeah, tough, grinding 3 yards there. Brown made a nice move to elude some tackles. But as soon as he got away from the defensive lineman, 2 converging linebackers wrapped him up. So Brown with a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 for the Red Raiders, John.
9 minutes to go here in the third quarter, so just underway. Great crowd here at Veterans Memorial Stadium for this 83rd game between the Presidents and the Red Raiders. 2nd down and 8 at the Quincy 45-yard line for North Quincy. Play action fake. Fallon is going to pass it, and it goes incomplete. Was looking for number 22, Liam O'Connor, and that ball sailed a little bit on him, and Heinzman Fields was in the area, couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, the Red Raiders in this third quarter are going to be going right into that headwind that we talked about. There continues to be a strong breeze from our right to our left, and that's going to be a factor for a North Quincy passing game in this third quarter.
So 3rd and 8 now for the Red Raiders. Aiden Brown on the carry, gets hit in the backfield, and he's going to go nowhere this time. Maybe a yard on the play, but nice pursuit there by the Presidents.
Yeah, Mike Monroe, number 51, just came in and blew that play up. There's a shot of the flag, and you see it's a very stiff breeze. That's just blowing and has been all game. So I'm not sure if we get some stats from our weather folks in the truck, find out what it is, but it's definitely out of the southwest, and it's been a factor in this game. Monroe blew that play up, as I said. He was the leading tackler for Quincy in the first half with 5 tackles, John. He had 1 sack for 9 yards. Garrett Cronin had 4 tackles, and Cody Desmond, who forced a fumble at the end of the half, had 2 tackles.
All right, North Quincy will be forced to punt on 4th and 7, and it's going to be a fake punt. Aiden Brown takes it on the handoff. He's on the first down and more, explodes up to the 30, 25, and finally pushed out of bounds by Sean Hawthorne at the 24-yard line. Big play there for North Quincy.
A big play and a gutsy call. They've tried a couple of trick plays that haven't worked. Rather than conservatively punting and trying to pin the Presidents, watch this replay. You're going to see the snap to the short man, Aiden Brown, and he follows a host of blockers, I beg your pardon. Follows a host of blockers down the field. The last block by Derek Griffin, the punter. So great call, great execution. Aiden Brown picks up a big Red Raider first down.
Brown takes over to the right side, has some space, crosses the 20, and will get brought down at the 18-yard line by the Presidents. And we're going to have a late flag thrown on the play. We might have another 15 added on to this. Or it might be half the distance because of where the ball is spotted, but it might be against Quincy.
Just got a report that it is a straight southerly wind, 13 miles per hour from Mike Jarvie in the truck. Thank you, Michael. And let's see what happened here. I saw number 48.
We have a dead ball foul, personal foul on the defense, automatic first down.
Well, number 48, the up back for the Red Raiders, Tom Koch. I think he was playing the role that he frequently plays at home on Newbury Ave, John, of being the urchin. He got downfield and was putting some blocks on some guys, and there was a little bit of mischief at the end of the play. And an innocent Koch got out of the pile, and flags came flying in at the blue shirt. So nice job by Koch of getting out there and agitating. Big penalty for the Presidents. Don't want to see that happen.
Our play action fake, Fallon rolling out, looking into the end zone. Touchdown, North Quincy. Tom Hooley on the reception, and North Quincy gets on the board.
Oh, great job by North Quincy. Exactly what they needed to do coming out of the locker room. A nice sustained drive. The fake punt was huge. Watch the replay here. You're going to see Fallon roll out to buy the receivers some time to get downfield. And now he turns, sets, and throws a beautiful ball to a wide-open Hooley in the back of the end zone. Absolutely terrific stuff. And there's a guy who you knew would do it. The place kicker, Derek Griffin, just blasting the ball through. So a fired-up Red Raider squad doing exactly what they needed to do. Punching the ball through, into the end zone for touchdown. And it's 20-7. Red Raiders feeling it a little life here, John.
That penalty on the President's shin was a big penalty, and North Quincy was able to capitalize on it immediately on that 9-yard touchdown pass from Fallon to Tom Hooley.
Yeah, we got Noel DeBona down on the sidelines. Noel, what have you got to tell us?
Quincy sidelines have been a little bit quieted down with that drive right there. It was a late hit, actually a penalty by Garrett Cronin that got him to that 9-yard line you're talking about, and they punched it right in on that one. But Quincy's a little bit down. Let's see what North Quincy can do right here. Back up to you guys.
Thank you. It was a 7-play, 60-yard drive by North Quincy. They burned 4:30 off the clock. Fallon picking up his 6th touchdown pass this season, and it was Hooley's 3rd touchdown reception, John.
All right, Derek Griffin will do a line drive kick, and it's going to be fielded at the 13-yard line by Hawthorne. He fakes the reverse, and he has space down the left sideline, across the 40-yard line, up to North Quincy territory, cuts back upfield, and will finally get brought down at the 43-yard line. Great return there by Sean Hawthorne.
Oh, beautiful fake by Hawthorne. Totally confused the Red Raiders. It shows you what a factor number 7, Jave Henson-Fields, could be. We're going to look at the replay, I'm hopeful, because what you're going to see is when he faked the handoff, here comes the replay, and when he fakes the handoff to number 7, everyone reacts to it. Watch number 50. Well, I can't get his number on our monitor here, but one of the Red Raiders had his back to the play there. He thought everything was going up the other sideline. So great job of pursuit by some of the Red Raiders, but Quincy answering that early Red Raider drive with a terrific kick return, and they're in the North Quincy side of the field at the 44-yard line, John.
All right, Tyrion Lennon was the man who carried that ball for a gain of 1. John Griffin came up and made a big hit to stop that play for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, Red Raiders all fired up. Quincy offense has to come out here and settle everybody down here, reestablish themselves. It's going to be an important possession for the Presidents.
Run over to the right sideline, the right side, for Handsome Fields. And he'll get up to the 41, it looks like, before he's brought down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You see number 65, John Griffin. He's been a monster over on the left side for the Red Raiders today. And number 19, also into the tackle, Alan Daly. We talked about him at the beginning of the game. One of the leading tacklers for the Red Raiders. He was in on that play as well. So North Quincy all fired up coming out of the locker room here, and they have a shot at getting themselves right back in this ball game. Coach Bill Reardon, realizing the importance of the moment, calling a timeout here. He had a concern about some personnel, wants to change the package a little, and they're going to change the play as well, as he sends number 81, Dyreek Johnson, onto the field. So Reardon making a little adjustment. This is a big moment in this game, John. The door is open for the Red Raiders to get back in, trailing 20-7. Their defense stopping the Presidents on the first 2 runs of the second half, looking to come up with a big third down stop here. It's 3rd and 7 as the Presidents come to the line.
Cody Desmond in the shotgun passes. It's complete to Garrett Cronin at the 30-yard line. He's going to fall forward up to the 28. Big pass there for the Presidents and a big first down.
Yeah, that is an area where North Quincy is vulnerable. We saw that in the Oliver Ames game. Watch the replay, and you are going to see Garrett Cronin open in the flat just behind the linebackers. That's where they deliver the ball. And he's open. He found a seam in the zone there and picks up a big first down for the Presidents. Great job by Desmond in this President offense.
Desmond rolling up to his right passes, and he had Garrett Cronin open in the flat, but he could not connect.
Yeah, that time the pressure of Alan Daly got right up in the face of Desmond, and that's what blew up that play. As you said, Cronin was open again, and Garrett is a very capable guy. He gets the ball in his hands out there on that play. That would have been a big play. So important pressure from Alan Daly, blowing up the play for the Red Raiders.
2nd down and 10 now for the Presidents at the North Quincy 28-yard line. 4:19 left to go in the third quarter. Quincy on top 20-7. Handsome Fields, number 7, takes across the 20-yard line. 10, 5, touchdown, Jave Handsome Fields. He exploded up the middle and went untouched in for the touchdown.
Yeah, watch this replay, folks. This is just back-breaking stuff. You've got a fired-up North Quincy Red Raiders squad who just got eviscerated by number 7, Jave Handsome Field, who sliced his way through the heart of the North Quincy defense. Big run for Handsome Fields, a 28-yard touchdown run, and that's a backbreaker right when North was climbing back into the ball game. So it's 26-7. Due to the earlier missed extra point, Presidents are going to go for 2 here, John.
All right, they have Handsome Fields in the backfield along with Cody Desmond. And it's going to be a direct snap to Handsome Fields to reverse to Garrett Cronin. He fumbled it, and it'll be no good on the 2-point. Looked like they were trying to go, obviously, for some trickery there. Cody Desmond lined up behind one of the guards, not the center, And while he was there, they snapped it directly to Hanson Fields, but they could not get it in.
Yeah, so and we'll credit Connor Pound, big number 77, who has been working hard all game on both sides of the ball. Connor got in there, kind of blew that one up. He covered the missed lateral and did a nice job of preventing the two-point conversion play here. Pound, one of the seniors, aptly named for a football player. He's out there banging away. He's one of the captains and has had a very solid game for the Red Raiders, John.
All right, onside kick there by the Presidents, and it's recovered quickly by North Quincy. Nice effort there by the Presidents to get up there, North Quincy to get there and recover that ball.
Yeah, their special teams have played flawlessly thus far. That time it was number 41, Jake Grady, who covered that one. That was a little different from the prior kicks by the Presidents. When the ball's in the air, the Red Raiders can call for fair catch. The squib kick, the ball on the ground, it's live. Presidents get down to try to cover it, but a terrific job by Jake Grady. So a 5-play, 43-yard drive by the Presidents in 2 minutes and 4 seconds puts them back in the driver's seat here, leading 26-7.
Aiden Brown with a carry over to the right side, and he's going to get up to the 49-yard line before he is brought down by number 87 for the Presidents, Mike McNelly.
I'll tell you what, no quit whatsoever in these Red Raiders. That time you saw the guy we talked about just a moment ago, left guard Connor Pound, pulling out, coming across the line, and lead blocking for the guy that has got to be tired by now, John, Aiden Brown. Brown with a nice gain of 4. Red Raiders at the 49-yard line, looking at a 2nd and 6.
Brown again on the carry over to the left side this time, and he'll get up to the 45-yard line before he's brought down.
He's right there at the down marker. Let's see, the spot's going to be important. It looks like he picked up a first down, and I think they're going to be moving the sticks. Let's see, the side judge is indicating a first down. The referee looks like, another timeout by the Presidents here.
It is a first down. The official referee, John Magnarelli, just signaled a first down, it looked like. Oh, maybe he was saying it was a timeout for the Presidents.
No, they're moving the sticks.
Okay, sorry.
Yep, had that right. But I'll tell you what, Bill Reardon, who's a very intuitive guy, is realizing the importance of this moment. He does not want to let the Red Raiders back into this ball game. Quincy answered on a very important drive, and North Quincy is fighting back here. They've got the ball on the President's side of the field, the 45. They're trying to get some movement going, some energy back on that North Quincy sideline and see if they can't stay in this ball game. They're now trailing 26-7. Coach Nutley and Coach Mike Hansen over there with quarterback Joe Fallon, and North Quincy on a big possession here, John. They're 1st and 10 on the President 45-yard line. Fallon back to the huddle, and here comes the Red Raider offense.
1st and 10 for the Red Raiders at the President's 45-yard line. North Quincy going from left to right, trying to go to that south end zone and pick up their 2nd touchdown of the quarter. Aiden Brown on the carry, stutter steps in the backfield, makes one man miss, and will fall forward up to about the 43-yard line.
I'll tell you, on first down, the Presidents are somewhat packing that defensive line. They're doing a good job. There's nowhere for Aiden Brown to go, but they've been able to make something out of nothing on a couple occasions. That time you saw the center for the Red Raiders as the lead blocker, Seamus Broughton. He pulled a bit over to the left side after the snap, and they tried to free up Brown over that left side. Nothing there. He got stuffed. It's going to be a 2nd and 8.
2.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 2nd down and 8 for North Quincy at the President's 43. Aiden Brown on the carry to the left side, crossed the 40-yard line, and he's going to do a nice job to get an extra couple yards on the play, and he'll spot the ball at the 38.
I'll tell you, very solid tackling by Cody Desmond, number 12. Well, looks like, watch this replay. This is really going to hurt North Quincy if this young man doesn't get up. Here comes Brown. He gets outside, and you see the tackle there by Desmond. I'm not sure what happened, but Brown has stayed down on the field there. And, you know, for several reasons, we certainly hope he's okay. The young man's the heart and soul of this Red Raider football team, and his injury right now would be a big factor for the Red Raiders to have to overcome.
The ball is spotted at the Quincy 39.
John, during the break, there's another guy we should talk a bit about here. We haven't talked about him all game, but the center for the Quincy Presidents, number 74, Declan Mayo. He's quite a story. There was some coverage about him. He's got some vision impairment, and it's rather severe, but notwithstanding that, he's been able to play all season. He's the quarterback for the offensive line, and plays notwithstanding the issues, and he's quite a story. Quincy's son had a very nice story about him a few weeks back, and he's been, I'm not sure which TV station it was that covered it, but they did a little piece on him on either Fox or Channel 5, I'm not sure which, but Declan is a young man who's got some physical issues that he has to play through and does successfully. Now Aiden Brown, I'm not sure what happened to him as he went to the sideline, but
it looked like they were working on his right leg down on the field.
Yeah, with a gang tackling, someone may have wrapped up his ankle and he may have got twisted when they were bringing him down, so let's hope he's okay.
All right, with 3rd and 4 now for the Red Raiders. Fallon's going to keep it himself. He runs it up, crosses the 45, excuse me, the 35, and has the first down. And we'll see where they spot the ball finally. Should be enough for the first down, and it is.
Well, great job. Watch this Red Raider offensive line fire out. You're going to see a lead blocker, Tom Koch, through the whole first, 48, and following behind him is the quarterback. So great job by the Red Raiders. Big first down with 1:30 to go here in this fast-moving third quarter.
1st and 10 for North Quincy. Fallon keeps himself over to the left side, and he's going to get brought down by Mike Monroe after a gain of 1.
Yeah, Monroe doing a super job over there. That time he fought off the blocker, made the tackle, and it's essentially a no gain on that play. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10. Red Raiders have had trouble getting into the red zone here. That was Monroe's game-high 9th tackle, John. He's having quite a game. Everyone's overshadowed when you have a guy like Jave Hanson Fields out there, but Mike Monroe really making it happen.
All right, 2nd down and 10. Fallon back to pass, fires to his right side, and it's complete at the 23-yard line to Tom Hooley.
Nicely done by the Red Raiders. It's right out near first down territory. Going to be about a half a yard short. So we're going to have a big 3rd down play here for the Red Raiders. Going to be 3rd and short. Watch the replay. You're going to see Fallon deliver a strike to Hooley. You can tell this is one of those plays that they've worked on time and time again up at Kavanaugh Field there. A strike on a little seam turnout route, and close to a first down for the Red Raiders.
All right, that is the end of the third quarter, with the Presidents leading the Red Raiders by a score of 26-7. It will be a 3rd and 1 for the Red Raiders when we come back for the first play of the fourth quarter. Right now, let's send it down to Noel DeBona for a third quarter report. Noel?
Head coach Mark Nutley got them ready at halftime and gave Joey Fallon some confidence now. He's throwing the ball very, very well here. If he can punch it in here and make it a 2-score game and get those extra points, it could come down to that. I see Quincy now, Quincy defensive coordinator Kevin Carey called that timeout. He wanted not to get a bad penalty, no unsportsmanship. There's a lot of talking going on down the field here. Over on the north side, you see the coaches getting ready for to get them pumped up. So it's going to be a great finale here. Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Noel. So it will be an exciting fourth quarter. North Quincy High School, Jim, if they punch this in for a touchdown, will make things interesting here for this quarter.
Yeah, it's a very determined group. You got to give Coach Nutley and the Red Raider coaching staff, and then all the boys in the white shirts today, great credit. Quincy came out and just absolutely punched the Red Raiders in the mouth. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. And then they've got number 7, Jave Handsome Fields, who's just done some very explosive running out on the field here. Notwithstanding all that's going on, the Red Raiders still in this ball game, battling back here. It's very impressive. They've got a 3rd and 1 here, and if they convert, they'll be in the red zone on a very important possession.
All right, Fallon's going to keep it himself, and it's going to be very, very close, Jim, if he get it or not. The initial spot's at the 22-yard line, and we'll see if that's where it is.
Yeah, Monroe and Quinn right there on the play. Coach Nutley unhappy with the spot. Looks like the officials are going to bring the chains out. This one might be short. I'll tell you what. Garrett Kelly and I beg your pardon, Monroe and Garrett Cronin. Garrett Kelly is a name from the North Quincy past. He's one of my favorite seniors on the storied North Quincy 2000, I believe, 10 team. But Garrett Cronin and Mike Monroe grabbed hold of quarterback Joe Fallon.
All right,
just
Jim,
threw him back.
They are going to be short by about half a yard or so.
Yeah. Although Mark Nutley's not happy with the spot, it's dead on. So we'll have to see how the Red Raiders react here. They're absolutely going to go for it. One encouraging thing, we saw number 24 back up, and he is coming on the field here. So he was walking around the sideline. You see him at the top of the screen, returning, or the right of the screen, returning to the huddle. Aiden Brown. So let's hope Aiden's ankle is okay as the Red Raiders come out here on a big 4th down. This is a big play for both teams, John. Can Quincy stem the North Quincy tide here, or can North keep themselves in this ball game? Big possession. And let's see as the Red Raiders break the huddle on 4th and short.
All right, so it's 4th and about a foot for the Red Raiders. I formation behind Fallon. And he's going to keep it himself. Flags thrown on the play. And I believe they're going to have a free play here, Jim. And Quincy jumped off sides, it looks like.
Yeah, the side judge who threw the flag is making that gesture to the referee. It's going against Quincy. I would think the Red Raiders would take the 5 yards. Let's see.
We have offsides on the defense. That'll give North Quincy a 1st down.
Tell you what, Fallon has done a nice job with some of his hard counts. That's the 2nd time he's drawn Quincy, an over-eager, aggressive Quincy defense offside. So nicely done by Fallon. There are a number of seniors out here, John, performing at a very high level. Fallon, one of them. He's had a little trouble with his throwing, but he continues to show terrific leadership.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 18 for the Red Raiders. Aiden Brown, who's back in the game, as you mentioned, Jim, takes the carry over to the left side, and he'll get up to about the 15-yard line. Ball comes loose, but I believe it was after he was down.
Yeah, this is the exact same scenario that played out earlier, only Fallon's forward progress was clearly stopped, and the referees blew the whistle, and then the strip occurred. The first time around, it was right at the point of contact when the strip occurred. But Aiden Brown continuing to drive, but being gang tackled by 5 and 6 kids, has had a little problem with ball control, but there's not a lot that he can do when he's got 5 guys around him pawing at the ball. Number 19, Alan Daly, just went limping off the field. That could be tough for the Red Raiders. Alan, a key contributor, so injuries continue to be a factor here for North.
Under 9 minutes now to go in the ball game. Quincy on top 26-7. Second down and 7 for the Red Raiders. Liam O'Connor with the ball over to the right side at the 13-yard line. The 10, at the 5. Nice cutback. Touchdown, Liam O'Connor. What a cutback, Jim, for Liam O'Connor. And he's going to have a 15-yard touchdown and score.
Yeah, terrific run by O'Connor. If you watch this replay, what you're going to see him do is just get out there and let his blockers set up. Here he is. He gets out to the right side. He waits to read the block of Koch. He does a nice job of tying up Hanson Fields. Then he evades the tackle over on the sideline, runs it in. A big touchdown for the Red Raiders, John.
Our extra point attempt there is, it's no good, but a flag was thrown on the play. It's going to be offsides against the Presidents, and North Quincy will have another opportunity on this one, Jim.
Yeah, there was a tough snap there.
On the defense. Replay the try.
I don't know if we have a replay here, but the snap was a little errant, and Joe Fallon did a spectacular job of getting the ball down, but he got it down a little late, and that's why the kick was pulled by Derek Griffin. So Red Raiders coming to the line. We do not have time to show you that replay as they're coming to the line, and Derek Griffin is set to go here.
All right, high snap, but a nice job there to get it down. And this one is no good as well, though. So the offsides does not hurt the Presidents, but nonetheless, North Quincy comes down with a big touchdown, 26-13, with 8:46 left to go. The Presidents on top.
Yeah, and the Red Raiders are all fired up. The one thing this all does that Coach Bill Reardon is not happy about is it has breathed life into that Red Raider sideline. North Quincy hanging around here. We always talk about the fact that on Thanksgiving Day the records go out the window, and what's gone on all season is over because you have a shot here at Veterans Stadium to redeem yourselves. 9-play, 55-yard drive, took 6 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. It's O'Connor's second touchdown of this season. A very nice run. He looked very poised out there and did a terrific job of reading the block of his lead blocker, Tom Koch, and then evading a tackle along the sideline. So well done by the junior. And Red Raiders in this ball game, John. Let's see if they don't try an onside kick again. The Presidents suspect it. They've got everybody up.
And it's a quick kick. And this one does not go. Quincy can still pick it up, though. I'm not sure if Quincy touched it at the very end there. North Quincy says Quincy touched it, and then they picked up the ball. Coach Nutley's out there saying Quincy touched it, and North was able to recover the fumble. And it's going to be ruled Quincy ball at the North Quincy 40-yard line. Coach Nutley is not happy with that decision.
Yeah, well, referee Magnarelli, who's very experienced, would have nothing of it. I'm not quite sure what happened. Didn't see the replay, but that onside kick. We have sung the praises of kicker Derek Griffin. He's a sophomore. But squib kicks are something that he'll probably figure out junior year, apparently. That's the second errant one. He's a guy who wants to blast the ball and does so very successfully.
All right, so it'll be 1st and 10 for the Presidents. Nice starting field position at the North Quincy 40-yard line. Hanson Fields with a carry over to the right side, across the 35, across the 35, and it'll be brought down at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, one of the things we're seeing here early, well, not early after one play, but I'll just highlight it, seeing some arm tackling by the Red Raiders. A factor that we always talk about in football is conditioning. And right now, with 8 minutes to go in this game, conditioning is going to be huge. North Quincy cannot arm tackle Jave Hanson Fields, and the boys have to find an extra gear. They have to reach down here and really step up. It's going to be a 2nd and 3 for the Presidents.
Ball at the North Quincy 33-yard line. And Desmond keeps it himself. Flag thrown on the play. Desmond got the first down, but they're going to hold everything up. This looks like it's going to be against the Presidents.
Yeah, this one came from the back judge. It looks like it might be a chop block call. Interesting.
We have an illegal chop block, high-low, on the offense. 15-yard penalty.
All right, in a play like that, you probably had a pulling guard, and because of how quickly the play unfolded, he had his assignment and he dove in rather than hitting the guy properly. So, President's trying a little bit of a quick hitter up the middle. They get caught with a chop block, and the officials are going to march off a huge 15-yard penalty. Another big penalty against the Presidents, John, who continue to shoot themselves in the foot and let North Quincy stay in this ball game. The penalties have come at critical times. Let's see, Coach Mark Nutley again.
Actually, that was Quincy that just called a timeout there, Jim, with 7:50 left to go in the game. With that penalty, the ball goes all the way back down to the 48-yard line, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 18 for Quincy.
Yeah, Coach Nutley's out on the field, though. He's not happy. He wants it back even further. He's checking the placement, and let's see what they say. He's talking with referee Magnarelli right now that the ball may not have gone back where it should have.
Well, the last play was at the 33-yard line, so that would have been 15 yards back from the last line of scrimmage. I'm not sure if Coach Nutley is thinking that the penalty happened behind the line of scrimmage.
In any event, it's at best 2nd and 18, at worst something more. And neither one of those scenarios are scenarios that Coach Bill Reardon wanted to see his Presidents in. They had a nice little drive going. They were doing exactly what he wanted to see happen. And now they're in a 2nd and long. And the Red Raiders, again, feeling a little life when the life was getting sucked out of them. So we credit North with resilience, and we look for Quincy to step up here, as they have successfully all game so far, John. Let's see what they do. Looks like Magnarelli's going to leave the ball where it was spotted, and here come the President offense.
2nd out and 18 after the penalty for the Presidents at the North Quincy 48-yard line. Play action fake. Desmond looking to pass, looking for McNally downfield, and incomplete. Just overthrew him.
Yeah, it was a well-designed play. Desmond got the ball out there, but here's the problem with that headwind. Little bit of a factor. If you watch the replay, you're going to see that the receiver is behind the defender and the play is there. Desmond tries to drop it in, but just overthrew him by a couple of yards. So that was actually a very gutsy call, again, by Bill Reardon, looking to try to catch North Quincy, anticipating number 7.
And they had the play, just couldn't connect on it.
Yeah.
So good call there by Reardon. 3rd and 18 now for the Presidents. 7:36 left to go in the game. Again, Quincy on top, 26-13. Desmond again looking to pass, a draw play to Hanson Fields, has some space, across the 40-yard line, makes a man miss, gets the 30-yard line, has the first down and more, and will get knocked out of bounds at the North Quincy 18-yard line. Huge run there for Jave Hanson Fields.
Yeah, just an absolutely terrific play. The execution, watch Peterson on this. It's just a little delayed draw. He's dropping back. Beautifully done by Peterson. And Hanson Fields does the rest. There's a great move to evade a tackle. Now he picks up the first down the sideline. Takes a wallop from number 16, Tom Hooley. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line.
Yeah, they say he stepped out of bounds there. Pitch, Hanson Fields over to the right side, has some space, and will get tackled at the 18, make it the 19.
Yeah, Hooley again. We mentioned this earlier. Jave is just getting pounded. When he gets hit, he's getting walloped, but he just keeps getting up, coming back to the huddle, and ready for the next play. Very durable running back. What have we got for stats? He's at 222 yards. Absolutely outstanding performance by number 7, the senior, Jave Hanson Fields.
Second down and 6 at the 19-yard line for the Presidents. They're trying to take some time off the clock. Again, Hanson Fields with the ball. Over to the left side. Gets him to the 15-yard line, and that's where he'll be stopped when he is brought down by several Red Raiders.
What do you think, John? Do they bring out Cronin for the field goal if they don't make it here? It's an interesting decision because where they are on the field and the fact that they could potentially put some points on the board with a field goal kicker of Cronin's capability. It's going to be 3rd and 2. Of course, we'll see if they pick up the first down, but if not, there'll be a decision for Bill Reardon to make here as the Presidents are on the 15-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised, Jim, if he goes for it to really try to put their foot on the throat of North Quincy with another touchdown here. Full house backfield for the Presidents. Hanson Fields on the carry. Here's the first down. Gets up to the 10-yard line. Falls forward all the way up to the 6.
I'll tell you, there's been some yapping going on and some other things going on, and you see a cluster of flags, so officials saw or heard the same thing. Presidents are all walking back here. I think that's evidence of some guilt on the minds of some of the Presidents. Let's see what the call is.
We have a dead ball foul, personal foul on the offense. First down and 10.
All right, so they did pick up the first down. The ball was spotted back at the 7-yard line.
Personal foul on the offense.
Well, it's going to be a 15-yarder. Let's see what they do here.
So it should go back to about the 22, it looks like.
Let's watch the replay while things are being sorted out here. We'll see if we can see what happened. But the give to Hanson Fields, some great point of attack blocking. Hanson Fields brought down. Now, I don't see any blue shirts there. Might have been a taunting. I don't know. Not sure quite what happened. Again, Coach Nutley out on the field trying to clarify some things. I think the question is, I think we're looking at a 1st and goal from the 23 because the ball, as you said, was at the 6. The referee announced 1st and 10. So perhaps Nutley was just clarifying. The Presidents now have to get the ball in the end zone. There's no option B. Peterson under center here.
Again, trying to take as much time off the clock as they can. Hanson Fields on the carry over to the left side. And makes a man miss at the 20. Keeps going and will get knocked out of bounds. And they're going to say stepped out of bounds to look at the 18, it looks like.
Now, I'll tell you what, John Lee, a senior, had great penetration. That was number 23 who forced Hanson Fields outside. But Hanson Fields, with a stiff arm, was able to fight off Lee, get outside. And a nice gain by Hanson Fields of about 6. So it's going to be 2nd and 18.
At the North Quincy 18-yard line.
All right, Hanson Fields on the carry over to the right side this time.
Wow.
And he's
Nicely
going to get
done.
stopped.
You see number 48, Koch, number 65, John Griffin in on the tackle. Watch the replay here. And you're going to see Hanson Fields trying to get outside to the right. And there's Koch coming in low, tying him up. Tom Koch is leading the Red Raiders. He's got 9 tackles, team high 9 tackles. And I should credit, as John alluded to earlier, Martin Dunham, our statistician. He's done an absolutely terrific job all season providing us with stats. Try to get the names of the young men out there for you folks to enjoy and know who's doing what. Here's Hanson Fields, John.
Up the middle he goes, cuts in the 10-yard line, and will finally get brought down at the 7.
Well, here's that choice I alluded to earlier. Bill Reardon looking at the clock. He's going to watch the clock run down. He's talking to his quarterback, Cody Peterson. And it looks like what he's going to do, he's going to bring in a receiver, Tyreek Johnson, and apparently they're going to go for it. I had alluded to the fact earlier that Garrett Cronin is a talented kicker. And in a situation like this, ball at the 7, it'd be about a 24-yard field goal. And I would think Cronin has that capability. But they're going to go for it here. This could be big, John, if the Red Raiders can come up with a stop and keep the Presidents off the scoreboard.
All right, Desmond looking to pass. Quick handoff to Hanson Fields, and he cannot go anywhere. It'll be no gain.
I'll tell you what, number 41, Jake Grady, keying on Hanson Fields. That was the same little delayed handoff. Watch the replay here, and watch the head of the quarterback. Peterson, again, sells that he's going to the air, but Jake Grady would have nothing of it. Ties up Hanson Fields, and let's see, who was the first guy in on that? There was someone else who got in low there. It was Alan Daly, number 19, who got in low and actually tied up the play. And then Jake Grady came in to finish him off. So big stop by the Red Raiders, John. They're down 2 scores with 3:18 to go. Not sure what they could do, but they've kept themselves in this ball game. And Quincy burned 5:28 off the clock there. Let's see if the Red Raiders can do something quickly here. Fallon gets outside.
And a late flag thrown as well. So Fallon got up to, he spot the ball at the 20. Flag is thrown back at the 15-yard line. .3:15 left to go in the ball game. Quincy on top, 26-13. See the officials trying to hammer out the details of the penalty.
We have an illegal block in the back on the defense. Doesn't illegal block in the back on the defense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. That will give him a first down. Okay.
All right, so something you don't hear every day, an illegal block in the back on the defense.
I share the puzzlement of Coach Bill Reardon. You see the referee going over to explain to him what the call is. The officiating crew's got to get their act together here. They cleared the ball for play, and now Coach Reardon's going to leave the field. The referee's going to return, and here we go.
All right, clock continues to tick down here for North Quincy, coming up on 3 minutes. Fallon in the shotgun. Looking to pass, gets pressure, throws the ball, and it's picked off there by number 36 for the Presidents. Brian Wynn on the carry over to the left side, and he's going to run it back in for a touchdown. And a late flag is thrown as well.
Well, let me tell you something. That young man is a sophomore, and he just got the thrill of his early career here. A terrific job. Watch the replay. Nguyen's going to go up and grab the ball and run it back in. A little floater by Fallon. Nguyen is there, and he's going to run the ball in. Off the replay, we're going to go right to the official. Nice run back by Nguyen. So what a thrill for him, irrespective of what the call is. Here you see a huddle again. Let's see what the call is. Here we go.
We have an unsportsmanlike on the return team. Quincy's ball, first down and 10 after a 15-yard penalty.
Okay, well, a couple of interesting calls we've had on the past 2 plays here, but nonetheless, it's Quincy ball after the interception. And we'll see where they spot the ball. Looks like they're going to spot the ball at the 32.
Well, I think the fact that it's a two-score game is very helpful in terms of taking the pressure off. I know that we have sideline folks. We may ask them what's going on when we get a break here, but I don't know how you take the score off the board like that for an unsportsmanlike. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Perhaps was some sort of block or something that happened out there that we didn't see. They didn't specify. There's any number of actions that can fall within the category of unsportsmanlike. So something happened that caused the play to be blown dead. They marched off a 15-yard penalty from the point where that occurred. And here are the Presidents, 1st and 10.
All right, Hanson Fields with the ball over to the right side. He explodes up the middle at the 20-yard line. He finally gets brought down from behind by Connor Pound at the 15. But a big run there for Hanson Fields.
Yeah, another big run right up the middle. Nice pursuit by Connor Pound, who all game has not quit. He's been all over the field. He's the right tackle, and he came all the way across the field in pursuit to bring down one of the fastest guys in the field. A great job by Connor Pound for the Red Raiders. And Jave Hanson Fields just continues not only to accrue stats here in this ball game, but to just do things that really break the spirit of the Red Raiders.
All right, Hanson Fields again on the carry over to the right side, and he'll get up to the 13-yard line. Derek Hung in there on the tackle.
John, we have Hanson Fields unofficially. That was his 30th carry in the game. And unofficially, we show him at 268 yards in the ball game. Just an absolutely spectacular performance. I remember some performances in the past, but we're getting note from our crack statistician, Martin Dunham, that this is a series record between Quincy and North Quincy. The most yards rushing by an individual in this Thanksgiving Day game, set today by Jave Hanson Fields, who
he's going to add some more onto it here. Jim gets inside the inside the 5-yard line up to the 2, and North Quincy's going to call another timeout.
Yeah, North looking to come up with a stop here with some time left on the clock. Again, no quit in the Red Raiders, and we give them credit for that. If you watch the replay, watch the slashing running of Jave Hanson Fields. This young man is the record breaker. He has established a single-game record for Thanksgiving Day football, and just a spectacular performance. He's now at 279 yards. Ball is at the 2. So,
well, Jim, I'm pretty sure we're going to have 4 carries right now by Hanson Fields to try to get into the end zone. Ball at the 2-yard line, 1st and goal for the Presidents. 2:09 left to go in the game. Desmond gives it to Hanson Fields, and he's going to go in untouched for the touchdown.
Yeah, great blocking by the President line. We talked about them a little earlier, but not much since. Bernie Van Tassel and number 51, Mike Monroe, over on the right side. Watch the replay here. You're going to see some great point-of-attack blocking, and he just goes in, and there's no one there. You also see number 35, the young man who does it all, Garrett Cronin. Cronin with a great block on the contained man. So that is the 12th touchdown of the season for Hanson Fields, who's going to finish his career at Quincy High School with 39 total. Geez, I'll tell you what, poor Cronin. I put the Danny Jackson hex on him, John. Garrett Cronin, we've sung his praises all game, and I talked about the fact that a gritty linebacker and running back is also a place kicker, and ever since I've given him that credit, his kicks have got progressively worse. That one, he's got a shot of redemption here.
North Quincy was offsides, an extra point attempt, so Cronin will come back up for another chance.
sure he'll put this one into the tee yard, and he does. No messing around here. So nicely done.
All right, so with 2:04 left to go in the game, Quincy now leads 33-13. And Java Hanson Fields, we talked about it, 32 carries, 281 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the game.
Well, that's a day's work for anyone. Give the young man huge credit. And I alluded to the fact earlier that he has been getting popped. He's been getting hammered. And yet he's shown terrific toughness and resilience. He's taken the hits and just kept coming back for more. So a terrific outing by Hanson Fields. And he has led the Presidents all day here. But we want to give credit as well to the quarterback, Cody Desmond. He's played defensively and been out on the field all game. But he's shown a real poise under center. A couple of times we mentioned how he really sold a pass play, but delayed handoffs to Hanson Fields resulted in big gains. So Cody's done a good job as well. Presidents are going to kick off here for what be an interesting final possession probably for North Quincy. Another squibber.
Ball's loose. North Quincy touched it, and number 23, John Lee, jumps on it to stop it for the Red Raiders, and they'll start at their own 31-yard line.
Let's see if they can't put together a drive here on what will be their final possession. See a couple of guys coming out on the field there, limping and balky, but this is the last possession for several of them, and I'm sure we're going to see them fired up here, the white shirts of the Red Raiders. Quincy trying to get some new personnel in for this possession and give some boys some time on the field for the Thanksgiving Day game.
Fallon hands it off. Aiden Brown on the carry over to the left side, and we'll get up to the 40-yard line, maybe the 41. We'll see where they spot the ball. He may be just shy of the first down.
Terrific tackle by Anthony Marcello. Marcello came up and really wrapped up Aiden Brown. Brown looked like he saw some green ahead of him, was just starting to shift gears, but now they've got Brown split out to the left. Fallon's alone in the backfield.
First down for North Quincy. Fallon passes, and nice pass, and it's complete. Looks like it's Liam O'Connor on the reception. He gets up to the 50-yard line. Actually make it to Quincy 49.
Yeah, you got to like Liam O'Connor. He made a nice reception coming over the middle. Red Raiders are in President's territory. They get a timeout here as they're moving the ball nicely, and let's see if they can't get down the field here. 1:24 to go, John. We know we're going to be talking about a President's win, so that's a sweep for this group. 4 years in a row now that the Presidents have won. You recall when Coach Bob Noble was with the Presidents. They ran, was it 10 or 11 years?
They had 10 wins from 1999 to 2008.
Yeah, that was quite a streak. Bob Noble's reign. And it's 14 of 15 from 94 through 2008. So Quincy's coming off a little streak of 3 wins, 2009 to 2011. But right now, the Presidents, after that little streak of 3 in a row, the Presidents have on there a 4-year streak here.
All right, Fallon takes the ball, flag thrown on the play. He's looking to pass, looking, and he's going to have to run it himself, and he's going to get hit and knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Again, penalty marker on the play. We'll see what the call is.
I got to tell you, Fallon was right over there on the sideline. He refused to just step out and stop the clock. He wanted to go out
Second and
with his
10.
shoulder dipped. So
Second and
fighting the whole way.
It looks like it's going to be against North Quincy.
We have a legal procedure. Too many men in the backfield. Repeat first down.
Ball goes back to the 46.
Why are we bringing a hot hand for nothing?
Noel DeBona is right in the middle of the President's sideline. I'd love to talk to him if we get a break.
Fallon looking downfield for John Lee. Can't complete the pass. Overthrew him. A minute left to go in the game.
If we could get on to Noel DeBona for a minute. Noel, what's going on the Quincy sideline? It seems like there's a lot of chattering. I see referee
trying to get
Nigarelli.
some guys into the game, some seniors that'll never be able to probably play football ever again. You're going to get into the game against the North Quincy rivalry. Back to you guys real quick on that play. It was a celebration before the touchdown on that interception. They called it on poor Mike Monroe, number 51, the throwback.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
back up to you guys. Thank you.
All right. That's helpful to understand.
All right, 2nd and 15. Quick pass to Aiden Brown. It's incomplete. It was a forward pass, but it goes incomplete.
Yeah, I like the way Brown went. You know, he stayed in the play right through to the end there. He did not make the catch, but he dove on the ball in case it was considered a lateral. He's upset with himself, but those are tough plays. That ball was really drilled at him. It was a little bit low. He didn't make the catch. The quarterback's trying to get the ball out quickly, John, and when they do that, it's necessarily a hard and fast pass and tough one to handle. So Brown dropped that one, but he played all the way to the end on that particular play, making sure that there was no question on a lateral.
3rd and 15. Fallon's going to keep it himself. And nice run there by Joe Fallon. Going to get up to the Quincy High School 45-yard line.
North gets a timeout. They'll definitely go for it here. Feel badly for number 77, Connor Pound, off camera to the right there. He's really hurt. Not sure what happened, but he's just played his heart out today, and he got a little dinged up. I don't know if it's cramps or what, but Red Raiders will not quit here, John. With 55 seconds to go, they've got a 4th and 6, and they're going to be going for it.
All right, under a minute here to go. North Quincy's fighting to the very end here, Jim. You have to give them credit for that. As you mentioned, all these seniors, this is going to be their last game in a Red Raider uniform. Trying to get every last play they can. Again, a lot of these players won't put on a football uniform ever again, so want to get, like I said, every last play they can, and being proud to be out there being a Red Raider. Aiden Brown goes in motion, and they're going to give it to him. He's going to have a run over the right side. Has the first down. Gets a 30-yard line. Cuts back upfield, and gets up to the 20-yard line where he is finally brought down. Nice run there by Aiden Brown.
Oh, just an absolutely terrific run by Brown. Good stuff. And with that run, Aiden Brown's going to go over 100 yards, John. He had 89 yards rushing prior to that. What do we have,
114 now for Aiden Brown.
A 25-yard gain. Absolutely terrific. Clock running down.
And North will spike the ball.
Spiked by Fallon. Good job to stop the clock. The yapping continues out there, unfortunately. Brown with a 25-yard gain. He's had an impressive outing. Of course, everything's overshadowed when you have a performance like the one of Jave Handsome Fields. 289 yards, record-setting performance. But Aiden Brown on the north side of the ball with his own fine performance today on Thanksgiving Day. 114 yards. Red Raiders showing no quit here. 2nd down with 37 ticks to go.
Fallon in shotgun, looking to pass. Has a man open, and it's incomplete. Was looking for, looks like it was Tom Hooley, but he couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, Hooley dropped that one just inside the 10. That's a connection they've made all year. Let's watch the replay. You're going to see Fallon looking for a guy that he loves to target, Hooley, on a little turn-in pattern. Tom's trying to get down to the ball and just couldn't quite make the reception. So it's going to bring up a third down with 32 seconds to go.
Eyes are getting smaller and smaller. I don't think they can get that small.
Ball at the Quincy 20-yard line. Like you said, Jim, 32 ticks to go here in the game. Quincy on top 33-13. Fallon in the shotgun. Looking to pass downfield into the end zone, and incomplete. Was looking for Hooley, but it cannot bring it in.
Yeah, poor Hooley. That time he's looking back into the sun, and boy, did he take a hit from Handsome Fields. That's a corner of the field I don't think you should be throwing to at this time of day. It's very difficult for the receiver. Love to see the Red Raiders looking to the left here. I think the receiver would have a better opportunity to see the ball. You can see the shadows. They're slanted a little bit to the, the players left to right rather. That's because the sun is over behind the grandstand here, and Hooley was looking back into the sun, fighting off that and defensive backs. This time they do look to the left side.
Down over to the left side, like you said, Aiden Brown.
Oh,
wow,
what a
play.
catch!
Aiden
What a
Brown
catch!
goes up and gets it for the touchdown.
Well, good for him. He picks up the ball and hands it to the official. But what a way to end his career here. Watch this pass, a beautifully thrown ball by Fallon. And then watch Brown go up and get it. This is great stuff. Double teamed. He takes a good wallop. The pass coverage was actually excellent. Tyreek Johnson in on the play, but there was going to be no stopping Aiden Brown on that play. Very well done by the Red Raiders, and they blast the point through Derek Griffin. So North Quincy, notwithstanding the fact that they're going to go home losers of today's Thanksgiving Day game, they're going to go out on a high note with that play there. That was great stuff, John.
All right, it was a 20-yard touchdown pass there from Fallon to Brown, 33-20.
Let's see what Derek Griffin does this time as far as an onside or squib-type kick. We mentioned earlier, solely for entertainment purposes, that this is not Dara's strength. That was Aiden Brown's second touchdown reception and 10th overall. Nice job. He's had 2 this season. He's primarily a running back, 10th of his career. And what a career he's had here at North Quincy High. And just a terrific leader, a real gentleman on the field. You saw him after he scored. Notwithstanding the fact he was all fired up, he handed the ball to the official. A young man who's used to being in the end zone, knows what it feels like, so he doesn't get overly excited, and you like to see that. So good job by Aiden Brown, some great leadership. And here comes Dara. We're all excited to see what he does with this one, John.
And he's going to kick it back to the 25-yard line, where Cody Desmond just gives himself up to down the ball.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's playing to his strength. Griffin is very talented. It's going to be exciting to see him over the next couple of seasons, Sean. He's only a sophomore. We talked about him a lot last year, but he'll be back next year, as will a number of these Red Raiders. And as was mentioned early on, they won the freshman game. They won the JV game. So it's going to be interesting. The President's on a 4-year sweep here. They're really elated with a solid win. And very happy today. But over on the far sideline, the Red Raiders take some solace in how the game ended. Bill Reardon getting soaked by his team. And they're in the victory huddle. They take the snap, and this ball game is going to win, John.
All right,
with
so
a great President win.
That is the final score, Jim, 33-20. Like you said, Coach Reardon gets the Gatorade shower and his 4th victory in a row on Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah, the guys are all going to line up here. They're led by Monroe and Connor Pound as the two teams are going to exchange handshakes. And we'll have a little bit of post-game in a moment. We're going to collect our stats and everything. But for now, why don't we just take in the specter here as Peter Doherty shows the two teams lining up, the cheerleaders getting in the line as well. It's been a hard-fought game, but now that it's over, you see the sportsmanship as these two teams shake hands for the last time in the 2015 season, John.
Well, like I said, it is certainly an exciting game here, Jim. And actually, I'm being told we have a replay of Coach Bill Reardon getting his Gatorade shower. Maybe we can take a look at that and see what it was. Oh, nice job there by our sideline camera, Carol Themmen and Mark Crosby to get him. Oh, they got him twice there, Jim. So nice job there.
Oh, jeez, look at that. Yeah, Carol was ready for that. I wonder if she was in on the plot. We'll see. But a terrific job by all. I don't know where Noel is, our sideline guy. He's ready in the middle of the field. He's got two of the big names in today's game, Monroe and Hanson Fields. Take it away, Noel.
Thanks a lot, guys. Before we get to Jave Hanson Field, I want to go to my throwback player, number 51, Mike Monroe. Mike, talk a little bit about what it is in the trenches today for Quincy winning.
Well, they first off couldn't block me or any of my teammates, and we just took it to them and kept getting sacks and turnovers. That's how we did.
A lot of penalties today, but you overcame it. I saw you lining up at different positions. I also saw you at offensive tight end. Talk a little bit about versatile.
Well, first off, I think I have a record for the most penalty yards in a game. Then trying to get the defense, when I'm on offense, trying to get the defense out of position or not knowing what I'm going to do or what they're going to do.
Great job, Mike. Jave Hanson Fields right here, 289 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns today. You broke the record for North Quincy history for the 83-year tradition. Talk a little bit about running behind guys like Mike Monroe.
Running behind guys like Mike Monroe is crazy because at practice, this is what he does in the game. He does the same thing at practice. So I realized the first play of the game we didn't have a good start, and then I believe the second play of the game was a stretch right, and Mike Monroe bundled the kid, and I just cut it right off of him. And I knew often we had this game as long as we keep executing. I'll keep running behind Mike Monroe.
I know it's 33-20, but the final thing. But I thought the turning point of the game was a 3rd and 18. You guys did a draw play. It was 26-13, and you ran it for the first down. Talk a little bit about that play. I saw you from the sideline saying, Coach Reardon, let me get the ball.
So I had we practiced the draw play constantly at practice, and it always worked. So I was feeling the draw play, and Coach listened to me, and we did the draw play, and I just did whatever I could do. Follow Tyron Linda, cut right off of Tyron Linda, and just ran for the first down. Make sure I got my team the first down.
Great job. You're a 3-year starter. You won 3 times on Thanksgiving, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was 4 years of Thanksgiving?
Well, I just on my freshman year, but I didn't play. We had Jalen Green in the backfield, but yeah, it's my
great career. He had over 3,000 yards rushing total. This year, over 1,400 yards, and then you got 4 touchdowns today. You had 12 for the season. Great job, Jave.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go enjoy your victory. You too. Come on in, Coach Reardon. We got one more person right here. Coach Reardon, great victory. Jave Hanson Field broke the record today. 289 yards rushing for the 83-year career of North Quincy. Broke it. He had 4 touchdowns today. Talk a little bit about how running with him today.
Well, we didn't know what the record was, but if anybody deserves it, it's him. Good for him. Good for him, and good for the offensive line. Good for the whole team. We had to replace 9 starters on offense coming in. Jave was one of the ones who were returning, so the offensive line took a couple weeks to gel. But when they started getting going, it was fantastic. And Jave, icing on the cake today.
33 points you guys scored. Pretty good. With all those penalties that they called against you. Some of them I thought they shouldn't have called myself. But, hey, you guys withstand that. Talk a little bit about, what these kids have done all season, the adversity, playing Milton, playing Marshfield, playing Duxbury, these top teams, and just coming back down the stretch.
Yeah, I couldn't be prouder of the kids, the way they continue to pick themselves up every week. They're just a tough, resilient group of kids, and they were fun to coach.
Great job just this season, Coach Reardon. I'm going to let you guys go into the middle in the trophy presentation. Good job. Go ahead. We're going to go back into the pile over here with Quincy and the trophy presentations with Superintendent Rick DeCristofaro. We'll go back over there.
All right, well, as Noel, Carol, and Mark head to the trophy presentation area. We'll just tell you specifically the stats. Jave Handsome Fields had 1,448 yards this season, 12 touchdowns. And for his career, he had 3,487 yards and 39 touchdowns. Both of those are city records for a running back at either North or Quincy. Almost 3,500 yards and 39 touchdowns. So the end of a storied, historic career. Jave Handsome Fields and Quincy football. Congratulations. On the other side of the ball, Aiden Brown, an absolutely terrific career himself. 1,242 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns this season alone. So Aiden Brown is a lot to be proud of. There's a lot of other names, a lot of other stories here, but those two in particular, John, on this Turkey Day, we acknowledge.
I think Noel's down there for the trophy presentation. Let's take it down to Noel.
Well, we're down.
Well, we see the trophy.
We're down on the field. We're down on the field, guys, for the trophy presentation. I don't see Rich Critzavaro, but I think he gave it to them already. But here we are, right here with the trophy. Oh, here we go.
Congratulations. It was freshman year, undefeated freshman year. I know we had high hopes going into the season, but like I said last night, you finished today undefeated, 4 years in a row, no losses to North Quincy, undefeated on Thanksgiving Day. And one last thing, fellas, one last thing. 293 yards and 4 touchdowns. Thanksgiving Day rushing record, Jave Handsome Fields. Game ball, buddy. Congratulations on the line, fellas. Enjoy Thanksgiving today. City champs. Woo!
Hold that. It's so beautiful.
Can I hold it?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Jim, well, you heard there. Coach Reardon just informed his players that Handsome Fields set the Thanksgiving Day record for yards rushing in this series. And every year we always say there's going to be some player that has an outstanding game, possibly a career game. And if we had put money down, we probably all would have guessed it would have been either Aiden Brown or Jave Handsome Fields, and those were the two guys that had great games here today.
Yeah, they were terrific. Jave Handsome Fields, a real class act. He gave credit to his teammates there when he was interviewed. And Aiden Brown, too. I mean, it's terrific when you see young men. We recall James Lamb from prior seasons and guys like that. And I mentioned Garrett Kelly, and I remember Jimmy Scribby. There's a history in this series of young men who were seniors who not only are talented athletes but absolute class individuals. And we see that today in Brown and Handsome Fields. And it's something for the young men to consider as well. So great win for the Quincy Presidents. Big smiles. We just watched a group of dispirited Red Raiders walk off the field under us here. But happy blue shirts, and we're very happy for them. It's a real hard-earned victory. They fought tooth and nail and really performed terrifically in this ball game from start to finish. So we had a great outing today on a day that was spectacular weather-wise. And so nothing but a win-win on Thanksgiving Day here at Veterans Stadium.
Well, Jim, we had quite a crew out here today to make sure we could bring this game to all of our viewers here in the city of Quincy, to get out here early and give up their Thanksgiving morning and part of their Thanksgiving Day with friends and family. We certainly want to thank all of them for their hard efforts, and certainly not only today but the entire season as well. So on camera today we had Frank Hogan, Maureen Conway, Mark Crosby, Carol Themin, and Peter Doherty. On graphics and replay we have Michael Jarvie. On audio, Anna El Tori. Our engineer was Chris Potter. Our director, Bill Early. Our statistician, Martin Dunham. And, of course, down in the field, Noel LeBona, our field reporter, and our executive producer, Elizabeth Campbell. So we want to thank all those staff and crew and volunteers for coming out here. And, again, not only on Thanksgiving morning, but for this entire football season, doing a great job and bring some high school football coverage to the citizens of Quincy.
Yeah, I'd like to thank them as well. They do so much setting up, the hard work they do. This season, we got to admit, the weather was nice. There weren't the types of cold days we've experienced previously, but they make for a fine production. I really enjoy the work of Peter Doherty up here in the 50-yard cam. He's a guy who's got to bring it all to you. But then we've got our sideline crew. We've got our two 20-yard cameras. And the folks in the truck fortuitously, the heating system worked well all year. They had both air conditioning and heat when they needed it, but they did a great job. So we had a lot of fun, great support. And the guy in the booth with us, statistician extraordinaire Martin Dunham, we thank him as well.
All right, well, final time here. Again, the Quincy Presidents coming out with a big victory on Thanksgiving morning, winning their 4th Thanksgiving Day game in a row. Again, 33-20, the Presidents over the Red Raiders. Again, we want to thank all of our crew and staff and everyone and all of you for watching at home. We appreciate all of you watching and giving us feedback for watching these high school football games. A lot of hard work goes into it, so we want to thank you, and we enjoy you viewing. Well, final time here, Quincy 33, North Quincy 20. For Noel LeBona, Jim Timmons, my name is Jonathan Caleri. Thank you for watching this edition of QATV Sports. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.